The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93
Oh, what's to get excited about?
Well, let's see. It's Thursday, right?
Yep, nothing to get excited about.
Rock, paper, scissors. It's a stupid game. The logic is really not right. If you are rock and you are fighting scissors, rock, you're winning. Scissor, you can now not cut other things. If you are scissor and paper coming round the corner, bye-bye. You are now origami swan or something. Good job, scissor. But if you are paper and you see some rock, what is this? You're like a hat. This does not hurt a rock. This help a rock. Rock can have bad hair day and paper has help out. This is a positive relation. This is like the birds on the elephant back who are eating all of the poop away from elephant back. Rock, paper, dynamite. If I'm rock and here come dynamite, guess who win this one? Yeah, not rock. Rock becomes sand. Rock, scissor, dynamite.
All right, let's do this.
All right, I'm going to cut to the chase here. Good morning. Welcome to the 93X Half-Fast Morning Show. Can we borrow some money?
Yeah. If you haven't gone to 93x.com this morning, go check it out. This is hilarious. And this has happened to us before in different aspects around the building.
If you have a few extra bucks laying around,
we need to go fund me.
I mean,
we do.
And we're good for it. We're good for it. We'll get you back.
Obviously, we're good for it.
Yeah, obvious.
Well, I mean the five of us. I'm not lumping in everyone else in the building. I barely know anyone else in the building. I'm talking about the five of us. I think we can. What's happening here, Josh tells me that our website is down because nobody paid the bill. Is that a true story?
Yes.
Well, that's what it says. Yeah, if you go to 93x.com, it says temporarily unavailable due to non-payment of services.
You're looking at it right now?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
This is awesome.
It's so funny because of how predictable it is.
Yeah, just because before the show, Dana Wapple and I were talking about all these other issues we're having around here. A lot of stuff isn't working, and then we find out our website included. I'm wondering if everything that's not working, all our computer stuff that's gone wrong this morning, has to do with non-payment of services.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
You know, and some people incorrectly say radio is dying. Prove it. Give me one example.
I mean, are we in real trouble here? Or was the person in charge of paying the bills just asleep at the wheel?
Yeah, did auto payment not go through or something?
I think somebody fell asleep at the wheel. Because remember, this happened before where we lost the internet. We lost subscriptions to different things because somebody forgot to pay the bill.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that was a number of years ago. But we've had our, I don't know, what would you call it, accounting department?
Yeah.
We've had them come up short once or twice. That's really interesting, fun, and exciting.
That's a little something different.
Yeah, a little different, something to talk about. Josh told me that right when I sat down this morning. Our website is down, and it straight up says, if you go to 93x.com, it straight up says, somebody didn't pay the flipping bill.
What's so good about that is Ashley was saying, so the website we use to post on our website said that. And I thought, well, that's embarrassing. How could this get more embarrassing? But they put it right on our website to say F you.
It's just to rub it in our faces.
Whatever company it is we're supposed to be paying, they said, all right, F you guys if you're not going to pay.
We'll show you how embarrassing this can get.
That's hilarious.
All right, so people are saying it's up now. How's that possible?
It looks like on mobile it kind of is. All you see is ads, though. You don't see any of our content.
Okay, so I haven't looked on mobile.
On the actual browser on my computer,
yeah. I can get into it, but yeah, it's just advertisements now.
I mean, not that our website's the most exciting place in the world. It isn't. But it is kind of fun to know that folks are seeing that message right in their face this morning. We did not pay the bill. We think maybe someone just was out buying a bag of weed instead of writing checks to whoever makes a website happen. but maybe we're broke. Maybe we're friggin' broke. Josh is the only one who makes any real money around here. We should be mad at Josh.
And I start to, I'm flaunting it.
Are you? Son of a...
I got
for you.
2 warehouse subscriptions.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I forgot about
warehouse. What does that mean?
The warehouse stores, Sam's Club and Costco.
Oh, yeah.
I can afford $100 a year on this.
Well, you're going to flaunt your wealth a little bit. Good for you. You've earned it. You've certainly earned it. Well, that's fun.
Josh texted me over the weekend while he was bragging about a Sam's Club subscription. Meanwhile, I was going through collecting bottles out of recycling bins to go trade them in for 5 cents a piece.
I would have given you $1 a piece because I'm loaded. People are saying it's back. Nope, some people are saying it's not. I can't get it to work.
I don't care if it ever works again. I'll always remember this moment. Too broke to pay for our website. Dig
All right,
that.
so, I have it now. It's not fully functioning, but it is back. That's too bad.
Oh, tonight. Wow,
What did you say? What?
A Cub Coors gig. Tonight, 4 to 6. Yeah, it says it right on the website. Hey, there's my face.
Oh, you have a gig this evening?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead with that.
4 to 6. Cub Wine and Spirits in Stillwater.
Stillwater? That's where we're going tomorrow.
I know. I'm going to be doing double duty in Stillwater 2 days in a row.
Nobody's ever wanted to go to Stillwater 2 days in a row.
Now, so you have a promotion afterwards?
No, tonight.
Tonight.
Oh, tonight. Okay.
And then tomorrow.
Yeah, it got moved because
you said double duty. I got lost there. So because we've had that before where someone on the staff would, after the boat, they'd run over to the freight house or someplace like that for a promotion. And there was one in particular where the girl that was supposed to do it was the drunkest person I've ever seen.
Yeah, I remember that one.
She had to be carried over there. And I was told she spent...
Before her bar gig.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
She had to be carried over there before.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, she stumbled off the boat and was carried over to the establishment and spent the night in the bathroom, I was told.
Wow, wonderful.
That's how you represent the radio station right there, yeah.
But I thought it would have been kind of cool if I did just all in one day. I feel like I could have made it down to the boat. I mean, it ends at 6.
Oh, yeah,
go
you
to the
probably
boat,
could've.
get on at 6:30.
How do we get there this year? Do we swim? Do we canoe to get to Stillwater?
This is something else you woke me up to just a few minutes ago before we went on the air. There's so much flooding happening. Are we at risk?
I don't know.
Tomorrow night?
A few people are saying, you better double check. I mean, we'll obviously get one information. They said they had a boat cruise that got canceled, and they were supposedly canceling some of them. Not to put that mojo out there. Bad mojo.
Mm-hmm. Looks like they postponed their 4th of July fireworks show.
Yeah, the 4th of July fireworks show's done. They're still allowing people to go and enjoy Stillwater, but that's a little concerning. I saw that yesterday about the fireworks and thought, because I had heard some rumors. Maybe if people live out that way or they've got some information, let us know. And obviously, as soon as we hear something, I always like to check our website. That's where you can find all the information. It's reliable. Never embarrassing whatsoever.
Well, we'll keep...
Did anybody pay for the boat?
I was wondering, if we can't even pay for a website, who's paying for the gas for the boat ride?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's a lot of money, up and down that river once or twice in a big vehicle like that. We'll keep, heading towards tomorrow night's boat party like nothing's wrong. If we hear any different, obviously we'll let you know.
That would be kind of fun, just to take the boat down Main Street of Stillwater. Just do different bar crawls. All right, we'll stop here.
That'd be a blast.
We could do a little antiquing.
Yeah.
Sure, we could have some fun. I would assume I saw one email saying, fingers crossed, but I would assume if they knew something, they'd let us know. But then again, I shouldn't assume that here. Even though it's the communication business, there's always some... Every couple months, you'll get some really big information nobody told us about. Like there was we had a studio change. We're in a couple of old crappy KQ studios. We found out on a Thursday that we were moving here on a Monday, and we just don't get that info.
And then somebody told me, they said, well, don't get too comfortable because you'll be moving again. And I said, well, where are we moving next time? We don't know yet.
Yeah, nobody's sure.
Oh, okay.
There's not many options.
That's comforting.
But get ready for it. It might happen tomorrow.
Listen to this now. Lake City Disposal Jesus tells me that the water ski show got canceled for water ski days in Lake City this weekend.
That's insane. There's too much water for water skiing.
Too much water for
How's
water
that
skiing.
possible?
Did you guys see that house in Mankato fall into the river?
No.
Yeah, that was nuts.
I did not.
Can
I'll
we
have to find it.
Are we able to post anything?
No, not at all.
I forgot it. Did I not send that to you, Ashley? I think I did.
Yes.
Here's the deal. Yeah, there's been so much rain. The weather's been incredible. And there's flooding, terrible flooding from one end of the state to the other. Sure, there is a possibility it could get in the way of our party tomorrow night. We'll have to just wait and see. But we're friggin' broke. If you have any extra bucks, holler at us. We could use it.
I'd love to know what happened. We got to find that out so we can follow up. If this was a mistake, I hope it wasn't a mistake. I hope that the website company didn't screw it up. I hope they legitimately didn't pay their bill. And somebody rightfully says, this is probably the most web traffic your website's ever received.
You're saying right now they're getting tons of clicks, right?
Yeah, that's the most entertaining thing that's ever happened to our website.
Right. I remember once being so flippin' broke. This is back when my brother and I were living together. Fresh out of high school. No money, no one to turn to. I thought this was kind of a pathetic moment. And obviously there are people who are real deal beyond poverty. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to make light of people who are real broke. I'm just trying to share a comedic story here about one time where I just did not have a pot to piss in. And sadly, the first thing I thought about, it wasn't food. It wasn't, how am I going to contribute to the bills? It was, I'm out of chewing tobacco. And I do not have the money for a single can of chew. And this was in 1990 when a can of chew was, $4.50, where now it's $12 or something.
Yeah.
So sadly, that was the first thing I thought of when I woke up. I thought, one of those bits where you reach into your pockets and all you do is pull out the linings. I don't have a dime, but I can't skip out on my chewing tobacco addiction, right? So my brother and I, being both of us at the time big chewers, we had a lot of empty cans of Copenhagen laying all over the house. We made furniture out of our empty cans. We made a lamp out of our empty cans of Copenhagen.
That's pretty cool.
We had a lot of fun to be had back then. So I went around the house with my empty can of Kopi, and I was going into the garbage to grab empty cans and pouring just every little flake I could into my empty can. Let me go down to the basement and see if there's any laying around. And there always was, because my brother and I were kind of sloppy back in those days. Pouring little flakes of Copenhagen into my empty can until I could maybe get a full dip.
You little fiend.
I've seen that with cigarette smokers. There's a guy we used to work with that would do that. He'd go to ashtrays and just kind of grab what was left and finish other people's cigarettes.
Yeah, I see. Well, when I leave here in the morning, I see a guy. He bikes up to our cigarette thing out front the building, and he'll take that up and dig through it.
Okay, I didn't know he did that. I see that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like pretty much every morning, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep,
I didn't know that's what he's doing. I thought he just cut through the parking lot to get to school or something like that.
Nope, he's digging through to get cigarettes.
Some of the dudes.
Did you ever leave him a full one? Sorry to interrupt.
I was thinking about it. I was like, I guarantee he's grabbing all of my cigarettes.
Wait a minute. You see a guy every day sifting through our cigarette bucket out front?
Yes.
And you never thought to give him a heater?
Well, it's like I'm leaving at that time, and I don't know.
You can't pass him one cigarette?
I don't know. I just never thought to get out of the car.
Give him one day off from digging through the ashtray?
Well, next time,
I think you should leave him one.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'll leave him a little note next to it.
The older guys
could be pen pals.
The older guys that I used to work warehouse gigs with when I was, again, right around the same time I was just telling you about, right out of high school, worked a warehouse gig with these derelict older characters. They were the smoke half their cigarette at one break and then the other half at our next. Yeah. They'd put it out, halfway through they'd put it out and then light it up the next break.
Yep.
You got to do what you got to do.
I remember back in the day, too, digging through everyone's cars for loose change so you could get enough so you could get a pack of cigarettes.
What do you mean, digging through strangers' cars?
No, friends' cars.
I was going to say, it sounds like a Nick story right there.
What's that?
Like you and your friends breaking into cars to steal change or something.
We had some derelict behavior, sure. Oh, God, and then there was one glorious moment, where I was down to my last dime, to where you're going through the drawers in your own home. There's, just desperate. And there was one time where I found a bunch of cash in my junk drawer, which was filled to the brim with just garbage. What had happened was, I don't remember where I got the cash from. Oh, God. Maybe it was cashing in your coins, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We used to fleece our dad because being an over-the-road truck driver, he'd be gone for 5-6 days on the road. He'd come back and, hitting all the truck stops and whatnot and the prostitutes and things like that. He'd have, it seemed like whenever he'd come back from a long over-the-road trip, he'd have something along the lines of $15 worth of change in his pocket just from hitting the truck stops and all that. So he always had a massive coin jar. And my brother and I would fleece him when he wasn't looking. So I think I had some coin jar cash, threw it in my junk drawer, and the process of opening and closing that junk drawer over and over again just pushed that cash to the back of the drawer, and I forgot all about it. Well, one day when I was desperate and looking for just enough money to go to McDonald's, I opened that junk drawer, and there was that big wad of cash. Miracles can happen, I guess is what I'm saying there. Miracles. I thought I was in a movie. Wow.
That's the greatest feeling when you put on a jacket. Once it's the first time you put the jacket on for the fall or whatever. Yeah. And you're like, what, $5? How'd that get in here?
That always happens with my snowboarding jacket.
Yep, snowboarding jacket or snowboarding pants. You reach in the back pocket, and there's $30 or something.
The best feeling ever.
Now, this obviously shouldn't fall into any real conversation of being broke because it deals with a college kid whose parents were paying for his education. But I did always enjoy a story about a dude I used to hang with back in our St. Cloud State days who was desperate to go to spring break, but he didn't have enough money, so he's just trying to scrounge up anything in order to join. I didn't go. I didn't have any real money. These guys did. Trying to scrounge up enough for spring break. He was a terrible student. And in a desperate move, he was going through the books that he needed for that semester or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Quarter semester. He's going through his textbooks, and he finds a big fat pile of cash that was set aside to buy more textbooks. You see, because they were expensive, I think. They were. But anyway, that was his miracle moment. He was so opposed to ever reading his textbooks, he never paged through them. Well, he had stashed some cash in there to pay for more textbooks. Bingo. He got to go to Matzalan.
Nice.
There was textbooks I bought and then sold back to the bookstore without even opening in college.
And you spend $150 on it, and they're like, well, you can sell it back at the end of the semester. And then you go to sell it back, they're like, we'll give you $12.
That's pretty much how it went,
oh,
right?
Thank you.
They do. You're right. They did. That was part of the thing. Hey, you can sell it back. I thought it was a little suspicious that we had a college professor who he wrote his own textbook, and you had to buy it.
Same here.
Did you have to prove to him you purchased it?
Yeah, I always thought that was sketchy, too,
I thought that's a pretty good scam.
Yeah,
So it was a requirement for his class to buy the textbook that he wrote.
Yep.
That's a sure shot way of him pulling in a few bucks every
year. A couple bucks.
What the hell? Well, there you go. What else is going on around here? It's Thursday. A little bit later on, we will be tossing a new name into the bucket for tomorrow night's boat party. We'll be giving away some more passes to the boat party.
Up at the crack of dawn, Jesus, he said he donated a lot of plasma back in the day to get beer and cigarette money. Now, I used to donate a lot of that too, that and blood, to the where I would even, be untruthful with when's the last time he gave blood? Well, it was probably that same day. I'm like, oh, geez, I don't even remember. I don't remember how long ago that was.
That's good for you.
And I was basically, I looked like in a vampire movie where they have the slave or whatever it is locked in the basement and they just feed on them over and over and over.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty much what I look like.
Anemic.
Yeah.
Wow. Listen to this text from Big Dreams Jeebas on the topic of being broke ass. I was talking about taking cans of Copenhagen out of garbage cans and tapping just the tiny remnants into another empty can of Copenhagen to try to come up with just one chew because I didn't have the money to buy a chew. Big Dreams Jeebas. I've been chewing tobacco since I was a teenage kid, and I've never heard of this before. He says when he was in the Army, he would more or less dry out his spitters in the sun. Oh. And then take the dry remnants.
man.
And repack a can of chew.
Dude.
Come on, man.
No.
I've never heard of that.
As gross as that is, that's pure genius. I never would think of something
Never,
like that.
ever would I think of something like that. That's something. That might be when you know you're an addict.
Yeah.
That's a sign.
A damned addict. Well, there you go. Randy Shaver will join us at 7:30. One more day for the man. One more day on television.
Yeah, he's pretty pumped. He's been looking forward to this for a very, very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's fun seeing retirement Randy.
It really is.
He's changed. He's a lot more loose. He makes jokes that he wouldn't even have laughed at before. He's making these jokes. I can't wait until when we get back from vacation, what he's going to be like then. Just completely wild, or just maybe he's settled into what new Randy is.
It's all cute and everything, but I hope it's never said about me that it took 25 years for me to loosen up a little bit. Jesus criminy.
Well, he's got a different gig, right?
He is different, I'll tell you that. All right. We appreciate you tuning in. God, we sure hope that boat party happens tomorrow night. Now I'm all nervous about it. And again, feel free to text us, 651-989-9393, if you have any extra cash laying around, because we're in real trouble around here.
Sure seemed that way, at least when we got here.
Can't even keep a website going. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a couple minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
This episode brought to you by Progressive. Whether you're driving, cooking, or doing laundry, Progressive knows the podcasts you listen to go best when they're bundled with another activity. Much like how their Progressive home and auto policies go best when they're bundled. Having these two policies together makes taking care of your insurance easier and could help you save too. Customers who save by switching their home and car insurance to Progressive save over $775 on average. That's a whole lot of savings and protection for your favorite podcast listening activities, like going on a road trip, cooking dinner, and even hitting the home gym. Yep, your home and your car are even easier to protect when you bundle your insurance together. Find your perfect combo. Get a home and car insurance quote at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $779 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'll be ready in a minute. I'm getting there. All right, we were talking, a few minutes ago, we were afraid the radio station might be out of monies. We woke up this morning, our website, 93x.com, set on its main screen, or whatever the the term is. 93x.com. Really, it said temporarily out of order for lack of payment. Now,
That's so awesome.
I think we've been told that it's back up now, up and running.
Is it working normally? Because
No.
it's not. Yeah, it was a little goofy once it came back up.
For at least a little while, it said temporarily out of order for lack of payment. So we were all sitting around saying, well, Christ, are we broke? We're not sure. So donations are welcome. Got a text from a fella called Skateboard Pete, and he says, hey, Nick, what's your Venmo? Josh, what's my Venmo?
I thought you were just going to ask me what Venmo was.
Well, what is a Venmo?
So you don't have, it's like a peer-to-peer money exchanging site. I don't know how to describe it other than that. So like, and it also has a social aspect, right? Where you and I go to lunch. You love going to lunch. I know this by the way you skipped out on a work lunch yesterday.
That's not a work lunch.
Well, not like officially work-related, but coworkers going out to enjoy each other's company.
When this program is over, I want nothing to do with this place or anyone in this place. So, yeah, I don't know why you suckers agree to go to lunch at 11 o'clock in the morning.
It was fun.
There's nothing fun about missing out on going directly home. I don't care who you are.
Well,
I'm not going to have lunch with you at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Ashley made it a liquid lunch. You could have done that.
Oh, yeah.
I got nothing to prove, Cubby.
Ashley
I got
had
nothing to prove.
Yeah, she had a couple of drinks yesterday. That would have been fun for you.
Yeah, I felt bad. I didn't want to make you guys stay any longer, and I had maybe one sip out of my second one. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to leave that here.
So I don't have a Venmo.
What, in all that time, you couldn't finish the second one? Anyways, no, you do not.
All right.
So it'd be like if you took me out and I'm like, shoot, I lost my wallet. And then I'd pay you back on an app on my phone.
All right. Sorry,
and I could put an emoji on there, something like that. Like something, I could put an eggplant emoji on there, something, whatever I wanted to do.
You could add an emoji.
Thanks for the drugs. Kind of like you'd write in the memo part of a check.
I got you.
Yep. And then everyone can see it.
All right.
If you want.
Thanks for the effort anyway, Skateboard Pete. I'll get back to you when I get my own Venmo. Here's the deal. Stupid news report for, what is this, June 27th, 20 plus 24. I guess this here first story, it'll more or less teach you to be careful who you kiss. Who you kiss. Because the person you swapped spit with might have a lunatic family member that is looking for a reason to kill somebody. As if we don't have enough to worry about already, right?
I've never had a kiss where I feared for my life one way or another.
Me either.
I've never on purpose kissed someone maybe I shouldn't have. Both of us had an experience where we found out after some intimacy, maybe even coitus, that the person we were with was married and their spouse was in jail. We had the exact same experience, different girls as far as I know.
Yes, we did. They were
so funny.
That was not cool. That was not cool because neither one of us were informed.
No, I never would have done something like that.
Neither one of us were informed that their significant other was incarcerated until after the act was over.
The only reason I knew anything was up is I was walking around afterwards, and I see this picture of her, and I said, "Oh, when did you meet Mike Tyson?" And she said, "That's not Mike Tyson. That's my ex, or no, my husband." That they were in the process of maybe getting separated, and he was in jail.
Oh man,
maybe
terrifying.
getting separated.
Yeah,
but what did you say? You've never kissed someone? What did you?
Where I immediately thought, where I knew ahead of time or during that this might be dangerous.
Okay,
I've never felt like, boy, I know this isn't right.
Oh, yeah, I've gambled many times. And worried about the consequences later. It usually started with a kiss. There was one kiss that I can remember that was so strange, and the whole experience was so strange that I could honestly say that a little bit of fear did creep into my heart as to what is wrong with this girl.
The lady that attacked you after
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yes, that
shunning you away and then all of a sudden attacked you.
That's not the one I was thinking of.
Because that would scare me.
That was a freaky. Thank you for reminding me. That was bizarre. Yeah. Oh, and I stayed away from that lady. She kept coming after me, and I stayed away. If you don't,
Didn't her mom also come after you?
Oh, Jesus, that's 3 of them now.
Oh, man.
That's a different, now we've got 3 different. Yeah, I can't believe I couldn't think of these on my own. Yes, there was the lady who sent her mother after me after the 2 of us had sex. Let's go one story at a time.
Yeah, and then, of course, you had the girl whose the contents of her nose dripped into your mouth.
That's 4. Yeah. God, I've had some bad experiences, and it all started with a kiss. We don't need to get into all these stories. Which one should I tell? I should at least tell one of them.
Tell the one you were... We thought you were going in a different direction 4 times now.
Yes, but see, the story that I was initially going to tell isn't nearly as entertaining as the ones you guys remembered.
Well, then maybe we need to hear this one again.
Well, there was the gal... who I went on a date with. This is the one Josh was referring to. Went on a date with. I had met her once or twice before. And it was a decent enough, fun experience. We had a couple beers, had something to eat. But that's it. And then we were headed in different directions. She got into my vehicle, I think, as I was giving her a ride to her car. And as the night was ending... all I intended to do was give her your traditional, cliche, boring kiss goodnight. I was not thinking anything other than that. I'm being totally honest with you. So I leaned towards her. I'm in the driver's seat. She's in my passenger seat. I leaned towards her for that boring, everyday goodnight kiss, and she threw herself up against the passenger door as if I was coming at her with a knife. She just backed as far away from me as my vehicle would allow, and then I backed away from her, and I said, "Whoa! I'm sorry. I was just coming in for a goodnight kiss. That's all I was doing. I hope you don't." And then in the middle of my sentence, now she's on me. I mean, full on, open mouth, raging kiss. Her hand is down my pants, and I just said to myself, what is happening? So then I said, wait, whoa, what the hell's going on here? You know, for a second there, I thought, okay, let's go for this. But then this was so bizarre that I stopped her and I said, what's happening? And she said, what? And I said, well, I came at you for a goodnight kiss. You acted like I was made of turds, and then now you're mauling me. What's going on? And whatever, we had a further conversation. She said, I'm sorry, I was startled or whatever. So then I said, okay, fine, let's go for this. And I leaned in towards her. She again does the, hey, man, don't come near me routine. And I said, get out of my car.
Yeah, that's weird.
I said, I'm so confused by this. You need to get out of my car right now before I call the cops. It was so odd.
Yeah, I can't figure that one out.
No. And then the next time I had a bar gig, guess who shows up?
Oh.
I'm sorry, I know I weirded you out, but I just didn't know what. And I said, look, this just isn't going to work. You know, it was so strange.
Making it weirder at this point.
What was the one you brought up, Wapple? Oh, yeah.
The mom.
Gal and I, good old-fashioned one-night stand. Nothing wrong with it at all. We both had a great time. This was on like a Sunday night. I get to work in this building at 4:30 the next morning. The gal's still in my bed, and I have an email from her mother.
Oh, no. I remember that when you're like, you got to hear this email I just got.
And I couldn't believe my eyes. But it was a legitimate email from her mother saying, you home-wrecking son of a bitch bastard, don't you know that my daughter is engaged? And her what's the word when you get engaged to somebody? Her
fiance?
Her fiance is a football player, and he's going to kill you. And so understand that she and I probably didn't get into my bed to fall asleep until about 1:30 in the morning. So sometime between 1:30 in the morning and 4 a.m., she contacted her mother and told her that she and I had sex.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, why she would do that, I have no idea. So while I'm lying there sleeping after this one-night stand, she must have been on her phone with her mother telling her about me.
You know what? I wonder which is more crazy, if it was really the mom or if it was her posing as the mom.
Oh. Well,
let's say between the two, I don't know. I think they're both pretty freaky.
It's both freaky. So before we went on air that morning, I called this girl, who I had known now for a total of 6 hours, right? It was a one-night stand. I had her number. I call her and I said, do you know that your mother sent me an email at work threatening me? And she said, oh, I don't know. I'm sorry about that. And I said, after I went to sleep, what'd you do? You called your mom? Yeah. You got a fiance? Yeah. Bye.
Get out.
She's still at your place.
Again.
Yeah, sucks that she's at your house still.
Yeah, she's at my house with my dog.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I came home, she pooped in the bed. No, she didn't. She didn't. She left me no, she didn't. I couldn't believe what happened here.
Out of curiosity, so this whole thing started about kissing.
Yes.
And all of us, with the exception of Dana, who got engaged week 2 after knowing his fiance, have been with our significant others for a while. Does anyone still romantically kiss their significant other?
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Even you, Nick. I thought for sure you would say no.
Yeah. I'm not big on kissing. Not really necessary.
You heard when I said your significant other, right?
Oh.
This would be your wife.
No. We don't kiss ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Significant other.
Yeah, I wasn't just saying like anyone.
No. Then the answer would be no.
No. Okay.
What about you? Do you romantically kiss your significant other?
I've been known to do it from time to time. Not
you
as
have to.
frequently as, I've been with her for about 20 years, so maybe not as we just get it, right? Just like, pretend we did that. We're good. We know what that's like. But
We've done that before.
Yeah, but every once in a while, sure.
That's gross.
Like when I'm asking her if I could buy something or if I could leave or do something, like that kind of thing. Maybe I'll throw that in there.
You romance her
as
a
a
little
please.
That's pretty gross that you still kiss your wife.
Sits on baby she's said her husband always jokes, no post-marital kissing. He's got like the prostitute rule.
Totally
no
unnecessary.
No kissing.
Yeah, we went crazy there for a few minutes. Sorry about that, but thank you, Josh and Wapple, for bringing up. I had completely forgotten about those just lunatic experiences that I had.
Now, I've had definitely experience with bad kissers, and every girl I've ever been with has had an experience with a bad kisser as well.
That's not true. I bet you're a terrific kisser.
I bet I'm actually okay. But you know why? I care.
No.
I want everyone to have a good experience, and that's any interaction I have. I want people to have that experience. But there was one in particular. Actually, the girl we were talking about earlier this week or last week that won the sex swing at work, that particular girl.
I don't remember her.
It was odd. It was weird.
When you kissed her, her approach was odd.
You know, like when a snake is, they're smelling the air, whatever they're doing with the tongue?
Oh, geez, no.
It was like that constantly.
See, that was the original kissing story, not what you just told. I was going to tell a similar story originally when we first got on the topic before Josh and Wapple reminded me of these much more psychotic moments from my slut days. But there was a gal, again, brought her home from the bar, didn't know each other that well. We jump into the old fart sack. We begin kissing. And she's doing this rapid-fire, side-to-side tongue motion in my mouth. Side-to-side. Fast as... I mean, just, you can't even...
That's similar to what I experienced.
Like beating the interior of my mouth to death with her tongue. And I stopped and I said, what are you doing? And she said something, well, you don't like it? And I said, no. That's dumb. Don't do that.
I'd feel so bad.
Well, we began to kiss again, and she did it again. And again, I said, what are you doing? Stop that. It's annoying. We kiss again. She does it, so she was insistent on it. Without a word said. She no longer said anything to defend that style of kissing. Just every time I said, knock it off, she started it up again, and then would just look at me defiantly. And that's when I told myself, look, I'll have sex with you 5-6 times, but then it's over.
This is sweet. A touch of coffee with my creamer cheeses said, my husband and I kiss every time we leave each other and every time we come home at night. I just said who that was from. My wife and I have a peck. That's about it.
Yeah,
unless,
that's the rule.
If we're doing our OnlyFans stream, of course, we got to put on a show.
Oh, and you guys do put on a great show.
But when the ring lights and the cameras are off, it's usually just a peck.
All right. Here's what I was saying. What was I saying? Stupid news. Yes, be careful who you kiss. Be careful who you kiss. Because you never know. A dude ended up with the tippy tip of his nose nearly sliced smooth off because he kissed a gal and her mental case relative, who I guess thinks he's the guy who needs to police affection shown to his family members, came at him with a sword.
Oh.
Okay? A 36-year-old unhinged trash can human being by the name of Peter Tigg. He was arrested for assault and battery. What he did was he approached and confronted the victim about kissing one of his family members. And it says here in a Circle K parking lot. I don't know if that's where the kiss happened or that's where the attack happened or both.
I thought that's where he attacked him.
I'll go along with it.
Do you think it's kind of, I mean, if somebody hurts a family member, that's different. But something like this, like a kiss, or they show some affection towards a family member, that's always weird when somebody's a little too into what's going on with their sibling or whatever it is.
Yes. I've always thought that was very distributing. Like, do you have a crush on your sibling?
Right.
It's kind of weird.
I've never understood the wildly overprotective brother or sister gimmick.
Weird.
There's something, I know what you're saying, Josh, and I agree with you. Come on. Okay, we get it. That's your brother or your sister. But why are you so invested in their personal life? That's odd to me.
Especially if it's something innocent like a kiss.
Yes,
you know?
right.
Like I said, it's a different story if your sibling or whatever it is being treated poorly.
Completely different.
That's night and day difference.
Of course.
Ashley, you have 4 brothers?
5.
5. Okay, are any of them like that? I don't mean to suggest there's an awkward relationship, but overprotective in any way?
No, they'd make like the typical jokes like, oh, if he hurts you, I'll kill him or something like that. But it's never serious.
Yeah, okay, that's more normal to me.
The typical jokes.
The typical classics.
Yeah, brothers always say that.
I think brothers and dads, right?
Yeah.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never understood that super hard-on protective brother gimmick. It's like odd to me that you are so helicoptering over your sister. Anyway, so dude, crazy guy, approaches the victim about kissing one of his family members. Peter is the crazy guy's name. He's like a wannabe ninja dork. He started swinging around a katana sword, again, because his female relative was kissed by a man. He connected on one of his wild, I'm going to assume completely undisciplined swings. He hit the poor guy right on the damn schnoz. And it says here now, the victim had a large piece of skin flapped off his nose and hanging off of his face. And there were some flies buzzing around the wound, and a bee got in there.
Maybe he doesn't even care about his family member. He just wanted a chance to use his sword.
Oh, yeah, that's like what I said to start the story. This is someone who's just looking for a reason to kill somebody.
Yeah.
We shouldn't lump him in with your typical jealous brother. No.
Yeah, it's different. There's a difference between that and being a Lannister, right? I mean, where you're just going to bang your sister in the open. You're going to push a poor kid out of a bell tower or wherever that was.
A Lannister. For a second there, I didn't get that. And then, sure. How did that scene play out? dude bangs his sister and then threw someone off the top of a building?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, the kid was like climbing up through the window, and he saw the kid and then kicked him off.
Because they had to get rid of the witnesses.
Yep.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Okay.
Did you see me banging my super hot sister? Yes. And then there he goes. In the wheelchair for the rest of the series.
So, police found stupid-ass katana sword guy hanging around Summers. They arrested him. Peter, again, is the lunatic's name. Folks who know Peter said, quote, he's always carrying around unique knives and weaponry. Well, that's good.
That's a scary guy.
Because he's
That's
obviously
his
the
thing.
right kind of guy to be carrying around dangerous items. Yeah, that's good. Oh, God. Oh. I have so many problems with gas over here.
I thought it was pretty funny. A buddy of mine, when his daughter was at dating age, he jokingly told her significant other that just, hey, keep in mind, whatever you do to her, I'm going to do to you. Just to have that in the back of his mind.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's disturbing.
That's horrible.
Well, for starters, you're going to have to give me a list of what you did to her.
Yep, because then he's going to, all right, take your shirt off. Here we go.
Check.
What the hell does this mean? I got a text that says, all of my sisters have tried kissing Nick. After hearing the show today, he clearly isn't into it.
Maybe you must know what. Have you made out with a bunch of sisters?
Yeah. I don't know what he's talking about. I was hoping you could help me, but I don't think you guys know either. The cops in Indiana were able to apprehend, another one of these characters who likes to passively aggressively pinch a loaf on someone else's property.
Yeah, the angry pooping thing. It's different. I would never think of it. I mean, I've heard so many stories, but I wouldn't think of it if I was angry enough to get to that level.
Yeah, because you're not crazy.
Also, I can't poop on command, much less just poop in general.
There's a lot of pressure there.
Yeah.
And this time around, Cubby, a damn 74-year-old retired lady.
Oh, man.
Ew, old lady stuff.
Old lady turds are worse than different turds, actually.
100%.
Just all butterscotch and Baileys.
Oh, those ladies can mess up a bathroom.
Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. I hate when I see like a really old lady going to the bathroom. She's in there for a while. I just know when I go in there, it's gonna be bad.
Well, I can tell you this: I lived with my grandmother growing up, and she could be noisy in there. That's for sure. A lot of sounds she didn't know carried through the door.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't hold back anymore because they're like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like the old dude that just rips one at the urinal.
Yeah, she's like, I pushed out 8 kids. I can do whatever I want.
Exactly.
I can't even control things at this point.
Ashley's right. The elderly take it to another level. They do. So this lady, 74 years old, damn. She's a member of her neighborhood homeowners association.
That can be an issue. Sometimes they're a little douchey.
Yep.
Horrible.
Yep. I've had a couple bad experiences.
See, that's I always take great interest in this conversation. Whenever we talk about homeowners association, I was involved in that for 3 or 4 years, and I never heard a peep out of them. I didn't even know they were there.
You had a good
Oh,
one.
yeah, some of them are great. That's for sure.
So anyway, this lady's been accused of pushing out her old lady turds twice on the side of a neighbor's house. And
you'd never poop on the side of a neighbor's house, Nick? I can't imagine a story like
never
that.
in a million years would I squat and take a deuce on my neighbor's property. Absolutely not. Oh, well, I guess, but if I did, Josh, I'd return a few hours later with a shovel to clean it out.
You're a gentleman.
Yes, I would. Now, the homeowners association gimmick must have had something to do with this nonsense, although the poopy pants old lady denies that. We'll get back to that. Here's the deal. A fellow went out to mow his lawn May 29th. He found a stack of human feces to the side of his air conditioning unit. It wasn't the first time the dude found human droppings piled beside his house. And it wasn't the first time he caught it all on camera. He also video recorded an unknown woman on his lawn on May 2nd. So May 2nd, May 29th, he found logs alongside his house, and he got it on tape. After the second time, I don't know why he didn't do anything about it the first time, but after the second time, he contacted police, handed them the surveillance footage that captured this disgusting old lady in the act. Broad daylight, she was squeezing cheese, Cubby.
Yep.
On both occasions, broad daylight.
Well, dinner's at 3, bedtime by 6.
True.
Cops found out she's a retiree who not only lived in the area, but like I said, was a sitting board member of the neighborhood HOA skis. Big surprise, she denied everything at first until they showed her the videos with her old lady drawers around her ankles, giving her hell. Then she admitted it, but she couldn't find enough courage to be totally honest. She told the cops that she had no vagenda. What's the word?
Agenda. Vendetta?
Vendetta. Sorry.
A little combo of the two there.
Vagenda. Good Lord. She told the cops she had no vendetta against the homeowner. She simply had to go potty. Yeah, I'm not buying that one, great grandma.
Same place twice in a month.
Yeah, that's not a coincidence.
There had to have been a Vagenda.
Yeah, I agree. The homeowner told the local television news folks that he does have an ongoing issue with his neighborhood HOA, but he says he doesn't know this old bag at all. Whatever. The old lady wiped herself and then stepped down from the neighborhood HOA, or, I mean, God knows what will they do without her now that she's not a board member at the HOA. She's been charged with criminal trespass, criminal mischief, public nudity. I'll show you public nudity, Josh said. Didn't you, Josh?
I did, and I regretted it. The one of the jerkiest HOA presidents a place I ever lived at was a really old guy, and he broke every rule, but he really enforced it on everyone else.
Is that the guy that wouldn't let you hang a flag on Flag Day?
That's right. Yeah. No flags on Flag Day.
Oh.
You can't keep your garage door open more than just getting your car in and out.
That's absolutely bonkers.
You had to bring in your garbage and recycling immediately after it was picked up.
Yeah, it's weird living in a house with my boyfriend now because he lived in he had an HOA, and he's like, it's so weird being able to leave my garbage cans like outside my house. He said it's life-changing. I was like, that's so weird that you just couldn't do what you wanted in your yard.
Oh yeah, or you need permission for everything. Certain, it's not. I'm talking about condos and townhouses, but there's homes that have them where you have to ask, hey, can I get a shed? And they say, yeah, but it's got to be the same color as your house, or can I put up a fence, or whatever it is.
That's crazy.
You have to get your landscaping approved.
This is a great text right here.
Color.
Great text, going back to our last story. Mommy, why is Grandma taking a in the neighbor's yard? That would have been much funnier had I not stammered. Let's see what you make of this. Another godforsaken study. I mean, but it's nice that these study-making people are out there. They give us something to talk about. It says there's a fair share of folks out there who go ahead and orgasm now, okay? They will give way an orgasm from just tickling. And you all know where I stand on tickling. I'll stab you with the nearest sharp object if you tickle Daddy.
My genitals would have to be involved. I mean, if it's under the armpit or something like that, I can't imagine orgasming from that.
No. Gosh, no.
So it says here, when this study cut loose, a quarter of the people that they studied, sorry, I was trying to come up with a different word, a quarter of the people who were involved in this research, they say they've orgasmed from being tickled.
That's a lot of folks. I mean, a quarter, that's a big percentage. I would think that'd be very, very low. Text us, 651-989-9393. Can you or someone you know orgasm from being tickled? Anybody here get turned on by it at the very least?
No.
Yeah,
yes.
I get angry.
Oh, you do actually?
There's only like a couple specific spots though.
It doesn't involve your genitalia because that doesn't count.
Yeah, yep. It doesn't involve the genitalia. Like the lower part of your back. That I could see being tickled long enough where this could probably get done. Probably could happen. That's like the best spot.
So the study aimed to analyze how adults use tickling in connection with sexual activity. I didn't know there was any connection at all. I didn't know anybody connected tickling with getting it smooth on. The scientists and research folks, they recruited 719 people who have a tickling fetish to see whether they experienced arousal when tickled. Picture that. How silly is that? Okay, sir, I'm going to begin tickling you now. You tell me if you get a bone on.
Bang.
And like I said, a quarter of these folks could orgasm in their pants from being tickled without anyone going anywhere near their special purpose. Nowhere near it. And they, you know what I mean? It went.
Gosh, there's a few people here that they do it. They can have that happen.
F me running sideways. I like this text. Do these people know what an orgasm is?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a little weird. Oh, geez, Jesus said his wife orgasms when he tickles her belly button from the inside.
Oh.
That's what I did, Ashley.
Oh.
Ashley, that's exactly what I did when I read the text at first.
Oh, man.
Here's some expert analysis now. One of the scientists involved said this proves that many people experience erotic pleasure through acts that are widely thought of as non-sexual. Okay. Acts that are widely thought of as non-sexual. I'm trying to think of one damn thing you could do to me that would give me sexual pleasure and you're not going anywhere near my gorgeous genitals.
I thought of one right away.
Me too.
I can't think of one. You did? Well, go ahead.
I could probably give you a couple names and tell you that they got fired. I think that level of excitement for you would probably cause you to orgasm.
Okay. Now we're talking about audible things that might cause... This report is about physical things that can be done to you without going near your gear. That can get... Okay, yes. There is certain information on certain people, Josh, that could bring me to orgasm. I want to know, if somehow these people's lives are in complete turmoil, yes, that might bring me to orgasm.
What if I were to bring you a catheter used by Tara Reid and just kind of wrap it around your neck?
Yeah, I think there has to be something happening to my wedding tackle in order for me to... A catheter used by Tara Reid. That took a couple minutes to sink in. How unbelievable.
Well, I wanted to involve her genitalia, and I went through a list of things, and that was the least disgusting and hopefully out of the ordinary one I could come up with.
So, wait a minute now. So who said that they're okay, other than Ashley with the tickling? The last thing I said here, people experience erotic pleasure through acts that are widely thought of as non-sexual. I said... Can anyone go along with that? Did anyone make noises? I can't remember.
Yeah, I thought of one right away, and I know that other women, they can relate. There's a gym, or there's a machine at the gym. It's at most gyms, and I cannot go on it simply because of like how fast it gets things going, and you're like,
oh my God.
You're like, am I about to? Okay, I need to get off this thing.
But it's making direct contact with your special purpose?
No, it's not. So it's, I'm going to try to explain it the best that I can, but you're just standing with your back to this machine, and you have your shoulders kind of like how you would on the arms of your chair. And all you do is raise your legs up.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that is a deadly machine for women.
Like the old school knee lift for your abs.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like you're in a chair, but your legs are dangling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Your arms are resting, your legs are dangling. Okay.
That does it for you?
Yeah.
Weird.
And I guess I've read a couple things online where I'm not alone. It happens to other women too. I think it's something with like the way your muscles are contracting with your abs there.
Well, my wife works at and grew up in gyms. I'm going to have to ask her. She's never said anything about that, but she is dating one. Tattooed lowlife Jesus said, at this point in our marriage, my wife will orgasm if I just touch the dishes.
Sports. on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again, and that hasn't changed in my mind. That's unfair to talk about something like that. I gave up a big part of my life to come take this job, and I've poured every ounce of my soul in this job, and I've given this job every single ounce I can possibly give it. Write that. I want to publicly apologize to Richard Zane from TexAgs. He's a young reporter. He asked the question. That was an obvious question. I wish I could have answered that better. In the moment, 30 minutes after the last pitch, all I could think about was our players. I really wasn't in the mood to talk about myself or the future. So I apologize for that to Richard.
And I also have to apologize. Because I have no idea what that man is talking about. There was some kind of scandal with the University of Texas head college baseball coach. That's as much as I know.
Yeah, so a reporter asked him, what's the deal? We hear you're going to leave, and he's like kind of pissy about it. Why would you ask me something like that? Later in the day, he announces he's going to leave, and then issues a half apology.
Another one of those guys.
Yeah, what an idiot.
He was coaching for Texas A&M, and then he went over to Texas to the rival school.
Yeah, that was how scandalous.
Remember how, Josh, when I walked in the building this morning, I told you that I've already given up on this week?
Yep.
That was one of the stories yesterday where I just said, I don't care. So I appreciate you filling me in on that.
It is pretty funny. What the F? I love it here, he said. The whole clip's like, are you crazy? And then later that day, guess where I'm going?
Next thing you know, he gone.
Yep.
That's how it works from time to time. Hey, the NBA draft last night. So with the 27th pick in the draft, the Timberwolves took some kid named Terrence Shannon Jr. from the University of Illinois. I know I saw him play once or twice last year, the year before. Talented scorer, and that's all nice. But the big move was they made a trade, and they got this quick little point guard from the University of Kentucky. San Antonio Spurs picked this kid by the name of Rob Dillingham with the 8th overall pick.
Playing with Anthony Edwards and the whole Timberwolves is really just a blessing because I get to learn from veterans and players that's real good. So them helping me is just a plus for me. I get to learn from them. So I'd say it's just a blessing to even be here in this situation, and I thank the Timberwolves for sure.
He seems like a real friendly kid.
Yeah, he does.
Seems like a real friendly kid.
Very likable. I was watching him talk, and he seems like he's a cool kid.
He's just a little feller.
Yeah, he's not very big.
Just a little feller.
But he's talented, but not. That's the disadvantage. The knock on him is he's not that big.
He's shifty. He's quick. He goes to the basket. He creates his own offense. So, yeah, the Spurs picked him and then traded him to the Timber. Well, Wolves gave the Spurs some picks. We'll get into that, but I like what I saw from him when he was interviewed. He seems like a nice youngster. Did you notice how aggressively he talked with his hands?
Yes. Yeah, he's a hand talker.
He talks with his hands. He was at the little press conference table, and so he's going to knock a lot of drinks over at press conferences.
He's in competition. There's a guy we work with that's very expressive with his hands.
Yeah.
Very
really?
expressive.
Yeah.
Is it me?
No, are you? I've never noticed.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah, you are.
I can't stop looking at those beautiful eyes of yours.
Oh,
You're
thank
too
you.
dreamy.
Yeah, even when I'm trying to tell a story, I'll grasp in the air and I'll make motions with my hands, like the door's opening. I'll go like this.
It always looks like you have a ball in your hand.
His index finger goes up his nose. Yeah. All kinds of.
Pinky in his butt.
The Twins pretty much pumped the Arizona Diamondbacks. We can talk about that too when Randy Shaver swings by in about a half hour. Josh's news is coming up.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
Short-term rental, once you purchase the property, you're now in hospitality.
New episodes available every day.
I often tell people the easier it is to find a deal, the less likely that deal is actually a deal.
Bigger Pockets, On the Market, Rookie Real Estate, or Money Podcast.
There's one sad-looking house that's still for sale with very bad pictures in a suboptimal location.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
It is with a heavy heart and mixed feelings that we announce today the resignation of Fresno Police Department Chief Valderrama from the city of Fresno.
A celebrated chief of police in California resigned following an investigation into an alleged affair with an officer's wife.
Oh.
Quite the hot scandal.
Is that right?
Fresno Police Chief Juan F. Paco Balderrama's resignation Tuesday follows an investigation into an inappropriate relationship, which marked the end of a tenure that saw marked reductions in violent crime, a record number of new officers, and perhaps most notable, nearly unanimous praise from elected officials, which rarely happens. 2 high-ranking city officials confirmed to local media last week. Officer Jordan Warmhoff alleged that Balderrama had passed him over for a promotion in order to continue a roughly 2-year affair with his wife.
After I was informed by Chief Balderrama that he was involved in an inappropriate relationship with a female, it was later reported by the media that this relationship involved the wife of a Fresno police officer.
Fresno Mayor Jerry Dyer said, "We do believe this resignation by the chief is in the best interest of the community, the police department, and our employees, as well as for Chief Balderrama himself and the families involved, given the intense media scrutiny this matter has received."
Couldn't keep his hands off one of his fellow officers' wives, huh?
Yeah, and
that's pretty hot stuff, Josh.
Yeah.
That's crazy hot.
It seems like we've heard more and more stories about some of these police departments where people are just sharing each other. A couple of those. Remember, there's the one girl that was sleeping with absolutely everybody.
Oh, yeah, the whole department.
Like, everybody's involved.
Yeah, that was a fun week.
What do you mean, everybody?
Like pretty much everybody.
She Eskimo brother, the whole crew.
Yeah. I was just trying to make a reference to that
everyone?
movie. Yeah,
everyone.
That was a great story too. Yeah, the gal was just handing it out like Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Turns me on.
Does it really?
Yeah, I get turned on.
As much as tickling does, or on a higher level?
Even more than tickling.
A snooping South Carolina police officer was knocked down in rank for using citywide cameras to spy on his wife, who he suspected was cheating on him with another officer. Ryan Terrell, this time in North Charleston, the police department there, he's a lieutenant, or was, abused his power to track down his wife on at least 3 occasions before he unearthed the alleged affair in a Target parking lot, and it turns out it was true. His clandestine behavior was revealed after he threatened to harm a sergeant suspected of having the romantic relationship with his wife. The allegation of violence led officials to that investigation.
What happened in the Target parking lot?
He saw evidence that maybe his wife was stepping out on him.
Evidence?
Yeah. Some hand-holding, a little kissing.
Oh, I was thinking fluids. My mind went straight to fluids.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
Sorry I blew up.
Well, we just had different images of what was going on.
We did.
I was trying to think. I mean, I guess both of us just went to the furthest we've ever gone in a Target parking lot. For me, fluids never made it there.
Hand-holding is as far as you've ever gone.
That's about it.
Yeah, I hear you.
And only because my wife made me. I don't like PDA. A Missouri woman's accused of poisoning her husband's 2-liter bottles of Mountain Dew. 47-year-old Michelle Peters was arrested after her husband spoke to cops Monday about his suspicion his wife was putting Roundup weed killer in his Dew. In fact, he had several videos of Peters handling Mountain Dew and grabbing the weed killer. He first noticed his delicious Dew had a strange taste about 2 months ago, and as a Dew man like myself, made the mature decision to drink it anyway.
Oh, wouldn't that kill most guys?
Oh, yeah, they said it certainly could have. Yep. After a couple weeks, the husband developed a sore throat. He was coughing up mucus, had diarrhea, and was vomiting. Peter's husband said that he quickly became afraid for his life. So he gave a copy of a recording to someone, as well as the bottle of Dew that Peters placed in the garage refrigerator in case he died from being poisoned. He wanted somebody to know. When the husband told the wife that he'd been feeling sick, she allegedly told him he probably just had COVID. He told police he suspected his wife was going after the $500,000 life insurance policy he had.
$500,000.
But Peters told cops a different story. She said her husband was selfish, and she was mad at him because she threw him a 50th birthday party, and he didn't seem appreciative.
Is that
That's
rude. Is that
So
right?
he had to die. After confessing, she said she probably should have just divorced him.
I probably took it a little bit too far.
Wow.
Sometimes the easiest solution is the toughest one to come up with.
You didn't appreciate the party that I threw for you.
So
That just aggravates me.
There was another time she allegedly put some insecticide in there, and they asked, well, what was the deal with that? And she said she got it mixed up with the weed killer. That's why I did that.
I was poisoning him with the wrong stuff on accident.
Whoops.
That was a happy accident. Yeah.
On Thursday, 2 back-to-back robberies in Orange County, California. This was last Thursday, obviously. California captured law enforcement's attention for their similar M.O. 2 men in a blue SUV going up to their victims, claiming they were ICE agents, then robbing them. Dressed as cops, investigators say the 19 and 20-year-old would flash fake badges as they ID'd themselves as officers of the law.
During both robberies, 2 suspects acted as law enforcement officials. They identified themselves as Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers, demanded cash from the victims, and then fled in a blue Audi SUV.
Police believe the men may have been behind not only other robberies in Anaheim and Orange County, but also in the western U.S. in general.
It just doesn't sound like the kind of bit that most of us should fall for. You know what I mean?
Well, in this case, they targeted Hispanic drivers who may or may not have been here legally and were afraid that, I could be in some trouble.
I see.
A man with convictions for impersonating law enforcement is accused of doing it again, flashing realistic police lights while carrying a loaded pistol and allegedly trying to ram a family in a minivan on an Ohio freeway. The case came to light Sunday at 5:40 p.m. on a highway south of Dayton. The suspect allegedly tried to pull over a couple in a minivan with 2 toddlers in the back. After the driver became suspicious, they called 911, and police pulled the 54-year-old fake cop over.
You have multiple priors for impersonating a police officer. You have a pistol on you that you're not allowed to have.
Why not?
You were trying to stop him by turning your lights on and so on and so forth.
I never attempted to stop him at all.
Cap! Liar. Disturbingly, inside the fake cop car, police found zip ties and gloves for evidence collection.
Oh.
He was arrested for impersonating an officer.
You got a gun that you shouldn't have. You got this, you got that, you got the other thing. Other than that, you're totally cool.
On your way.
Mm-hmm.
Then in Louisiana, a dork was arrested last Wednesday night after he impersonated a police officer while trying to conduct a traffic stop on an actual officer in an unmarked squad. He was a little more unlucky than this last guy. The dullard pulled behind the real detective and flipped on his illegally installed flashing lights and siren, but soon found himself in handcuffs. The detective thought he was originally being pulled over by a legitimate officer, but then he had doubts. So he turned on his lights and drove behind the 45-year-old William Gilchrist's truck. Gilchrist gave the officer a fake detective badge, U.S. Marshal Service identification card, and said he was a deputy. The real cop figured it out and put the fake cop in real cuffs. A police person said there's a certain type of individual who impersonates law enforcement. Yeah, a dork, that too.
Sometimes it's people who fantasize with being in law enforcement. Parents may have been in law enforcement or family members may have been in law enforcement, and they just never made the cut.
There was no initial indication as to why he was pretending to be a police officer or if he had used his fake credentials to pull anyone else over. That'd be great if that was his first time, and that's how it ended.
Mm-hmm.
A Florida sheriff sent a powerful message to his team after a former deputy's arrest by melting the badge of a disgraced deputy.
It's so dramatic.
I know. He meant it. Those Florida sheriffs, man, they don't mess around. I think they keep trying to one-up each other. Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood shared a video on Facebook showing him melting down the badge of former deputy Stephen Corbin, accused of assault earlier this year. In the video, Chitwood takes a torch to Corbin's badge, while the sheriff's office, current class of deputy recruits, watch on. The post read, as promised, I say we would melt down the badge of a former deputy who disgraced our agency. On the opposite side of that spectrum, an Anoka County deputy is being recognized for risking his own life to help a South Dakota state trooper.
When the shots were going off, my first instinct was, I got to help. I got to get in there.
The Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association awarded Deputy Tanner Shipman as Officer of the Year. This happened during a ceremony over the weekend. He was on vacation in Sturgis when he noticed a man pull a gun on a trooper during the Sturgis motorcycle rally.
I spun around to my group. I said, somebody give me a gun. I wanted to prevent another funeral, and I was going to die trying.
Deputy Shipman assisted the trooper in detaining the shooter and then helped with medical care afterward.
He's the Minnesota Officer of the Year?
He sure as heck is. The largest mall in America is rolling out new cutting-edge technology to help with mall security. Advanced facial recognition technology is now part of the security system at Mall of America.
It's using a scan of our eye, or it might be using our face or a fingerprint.
according to a press release. Mall of America said the facial recognition could be used to locate a person of interest. A person of interest, according to the mall, is someone currently trespassing, those who may pose a threat, people identified by law enforcement, or anyone who is missing or may be in danger. The mall said the system only searches for matches to PIO photos, and if the technology doesn't record a match, that data is deleted.
Oh, I was going to say guys are going to have to stop taking their side piece to the Mall of America.
They get rid of that.
But they're only going to look if you're like a troublemaker from the get-go.
That's what they're saying,
Okay.
Yes. The mall said the tech doesn't track or keep any information on non-PIOs.
What is PIO?
The person of interest.
Person of interest.
But why do they call it a PIO?
Yeah.
Now that I look at it. I wonder if that was a typo.
P-I...
Person...
I don't know.
Interest of. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't notice that until right this second.
I got to tell you, I can pretty easily move on from that.
It's not going to ruin your day?
No.
This is going to stick with me for a while.
Yeah. Oh, is it going to bother you?
Yeah, I'm going to have to take next week off to get over it. A Singapore woman who brainwashed her spiritual followers into believing she was a deity subjected them to cruel punishments for disobedience. Oh, things like being forced to eat their own poop and having teeth pulled out.
This was some lady who convinced folks that she was, what is it?
Like a god.
Like a god.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
So they did what she told them to do. Okay.
Well, I guess I got to eat my own poop.
Mm-hmm.
The 54-year-old con artist, Wu Mei Ho, also ordered her followers to buy houses, condominiums, and cars as a form of worship, which, of course, she used for herself.
A condo you will buy for me.
In total, she cheated her followers out of just shy of $12 million. An Ontario woman said she felt used and embarrassed after handing over nearly $50,000 to a psychic who promised, that is, to rid her of evil spirits.
He said, well, if you don't do what I tell you, your life could be in danger and your sons could lose their lives.
After she paid the money, the sham psychic asked for more, claiming evil spirits were too strong. She then was told to get jars from a dollar store so those spirits could be captured.
They're going to have to be caught in these jars and captured and taken to Niagara Falls to be killed.
If she followed the man's instructions, she was told not only would the evil spirits go away, but she would be the recipient of the biggest lotto, the biggest jackpot win ever.
Sweet. Is this the most gullible lady on planet Earth here or what?
She's up there, at least in Canada.
Crappy.
Yet again, however, she was told the evil spirits had returned.
Oh, no.
And it would cost another $20,000 to get rid of them.
Will you pull your head out of your ass? You're being scammed.
Get these jars from the dollar store.
Well, she couldn't afford anything else at that point.
True.
While that Canadian woman in the story was a victim, on the contrary, a Canadian con man has been jailed for a decade for swindling tens of millions of dollars from more than 1 million Americans, claiming he was a psychic. Over 2 decades, the 57-year-old amassed a fortune by promising wealth and happiness to his targets, and all they had to do was send money through the mail. The scheme pulled in more than 1.3 million American victims who were promised they could achieve a life of great prosperity with his help.
Wah, wah, wee, wah. What a pile of suckers we have running around town.
There's a couple. At 2:16 a.m. Friday, Iowa's Harrison County Dispatch received a call about a tractor ramming parked cars. The man operating that tractor also damaged a nearby playground before driving the vehicle into the garage doors of City Hall. An investigation revealed Craig Hardy had stolen the tractor from a local farm, and during his drive, it's estimated he caused about $10,000 worth of damage to parks, mailboxes, fences, cars, and finally, City Hall. A local was able to take the key from the tractor and turn it off. Police didn't reveal a motive for his tractor tirade other than to say the Iowa man was Wisconsin drunk. In other tractor news, a flummoxed shopper posted a photo of a maple syrup bottle with a stumper of a warning label. "Do not freeze and keep away from Tractor and Son," read the front of the container of the Super Tasty brand bottle distributed by United Arab Emirates-based AWS Foods. Many online were confused until some Arabic speakers pointed out that the wonky message was the result of a translation error and was not, in fact, a warning about driving under the influence of pancake toppings. Apparently, it was supposed to say, "keep away from heat," not tractors. It's not the only recent high-profile translation fail. In a less humorous incident last October, a tourist in Portugal using a translation app accidentally sparked an explosive scare by mixing up the local word for pomegranate at a restaurant. The man wrote down his request for a fruity drink in order to make things easier for the wait staff, but unfortunately, he had written the Portuguese word for grenade instead.
Sweet. Son of a bitch.
Oops. I am really embarrassed, guys. Very embarrassed. Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text WIN to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to the Half-Ass Morning Show. Keep it at a reasonable volume, and we have nothing to prove boat cruise tomorrow on Stillwater Riverboats.
That's a great way to phrase it, Josh.
Everybody just relax. Again, the word is WIN, W-I-N, WIN, 651-989-9393 is the number.
We're about out of it. I mean, we're getting close to being done with giveaways here, aren't we?
This is the last one. Well, I'm assuming we'll have something tomorrow.
I mean, I still got to get Donnie on the boat. We got to make room for Donnie.
What about Missy? Is she available?
Yes, she will be coming with. So yeah, we're about down to the bottom of the barrel here. You better get to listening to this program and paying attention.
We've got a genital update from the Brotherhood. No more semen demons for elbow deep in your toilet, Jesus, after today. So speaking of boats, he wanted to shout out Pop Can Peen Jesus and Big Dreams Jesus, who will be on the boat tomorrow. He said if he wasn't religiously icing his nuts tomorrow, he would have joined us.
It's not always foolproof, is it, Cubby?
Not at all.
One of those vasectomies.
Nope.
So it ain't over yet.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was told by a buddy of mine who had it, you got to clear the cannon 50 times before they say you're good to go.
Oh, what, 2.5 days?
But as Nick said, some can still slip out.
Mm-hmm.
And both a congratulations and a what have you done to Bad Carpenter Jesus, closing on a new house today in Prior Lake. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
I'm a big guy. I'm a big, strong guy.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
With the 8th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Rob Dillingham from the University of Kentucky.
Darius Garland is a great comparison for Dillingham. But you're not going to be imagining him next to Victor Wembanyama because as our Adrian Wojnarowski just reported, Minnesota has traded for the 8th pick and Rob Dillingham.
Playing with Anthony Edwards and the whole Timberwolves is really just a blessing because I get to learn from veterans and players that's real good. So them helping me is just a plus for me. I get to learn from them. So I say it's just a blessing to even be here in this situation, and I thank the Timberwolves for sure.
Dillingham. We got to get used to that name around here. Hi, Randy Shaver.
Oh, no.
Good morning.
Oh, there.
I'm here.
My God. Is the delay that bad, or were you playing with yourself?
No, I had to turn my knob.
So you was. You didn't really answer the question because that could have went either way.
So it does sound like there's a delay. Sorry.
Yeah,
there always will be, and nobody seems to care. Randy Shaver, we got to get used to the name Dillingham, the young kid from Kentucky.
Yeah. Exciting night for Timberwolves fans.
It was. I didn't expect to really get too interested in last night's draft. Many of the names I've never heard of before, but when the trade was made, and I had already seen some of the highlights of this Dillingham kid when he was drafted by the Spurs, number 8. I'd already seen some of the highlights of the kid. When I heard about the trade, I thought, well, he looks like a nice little player and a nice addition, and maybe what's the term I heard once or twice? There's a fancy term. He eventually will take Mike Conley's job. He is the heir apparent. That's the word. The heir apparent to Mike Conley's point guard job.
That'll be a sad day at the Bitney household, I can tell you that.
Yeah, your old lady loves Mike Conley.
Unless he moves in or something.
What he brings and what Shannon Jr., who they drafted at 27, brings is offense, and that's something this team needed to address. Their defense was very good, as we all know, last year, one of the best in the NBA. Their offense was about middle of the road. And so to add Dillingham, who's, from all accounts, a fantastic scorer, who can create his own shot, and to add Shannon, who we watched when he played for Illinois, so we had a chance to see him a few times, who's an outstanding wing player. Those two guys jump into the mix, likely replacing some unrestricted free agents, including Anderson and McLaughlin, guys like that. So it's an expensive venture, because they now are, the luxury tax for them went up from $56 to $84 million. So the ownership had to sign off on all this to say yes to this, but before they made the deal. And then, they also look at, how does this work in the context of their team? Do these two guys, how do they fit into what they already have? And I think the answer to that is they fit great. And what did they give up? They gave up a first-round unprotected pick 7 years from now. Who the hell knows where we will be 7 years from now?
You will likely be dead.
Oh, my God.
Thank you.
In the next 7 years, you will likely
There's
be
a
gone.
very good chance of that. Yes. So I'm just saying, as far as what did they give up, he didn't. I mean, Connolly didn't give up something that will instantly hurt the franchise, or a year down the road, or 2 years down the road. Might it affect them 7 years from now? Very possibly could, but who the hell cares?
Oh.
Right now, their window to win is now, and that's why they made this move.
You kind of got me pumped.
That was exciting.
You kind of got me pumped. You're very excited.
And the thing about this too, Nick, is that they weren't going to be able to help themselves through free agency to the extent of what they're getting right now, because they're getting two really young players that they can build and, as you said, the heir apparent to Mike Conley, they can put into this lineup that will be here for years to come, and they control their salaries for years to come. That is important to the Wolves because of all the big contracts they've given to Gobert, Edwards, Towns. These guys are going to be, they're making big money at McDaniels. So they needed to find guys where they could control their salaries, yet also build those guys into great players. And so it's the best of all worlds. And they, quite honestly, didn't give up something that's going to cripple this franchise in the next couple of years.
You know what? If these two kids can produce the way they did in college, wow. I mean, they were great college ball players.
Absolutely.
Dillingham, Rob is his first name. I know I neglected to say his first name. Rob Dillingham, the little guard from Kentucky. He left after 1 year. He's a young kid. If they can produce the way they did in college, wow, these guys have great potential. It was just interesting. I mean, had anyone ever heard of the number 1 overall pick that was made by the Atlanta Hawks last night?
Yes.
No. You had heard of him, Randy.
I had. Sure, because I've been reading a lot of mock drafts,
okay.
and I've been looking at those kind of things. So I was very familiar with the name and the fact that France was likely going to have 3 guys, at least in the top 10. 3 of them ended up going in the top 6 last night. And from what I understand, this is just the beginning. There's a lot of players over in France that are coming to play in the NBA. This is not something that's once in a while. This is going to be a real thing over the next few years from what I heard.
Oh, yeah, once Wembayami went crazy, everyone's looking around France for basketball players.
Who do we got? Who's over there?
And they're finding them, too.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, apparently this number 1 pick is really, really good. And, of course, Atlanta, they're not the worst team in the NBA.
No.
They got lucky with the way the lottery shook out for them. And so now they add a very important piece that might help them get back into the playoff picture. So.
And this has been going on for a while, players coming from overseas. That's been going on for a while, but it's still, wow. I mean, how do they find some of these guys? They send some poor bastard scout all the way to some.
Yeah.
You find yourself in Slovenia or something, in some little town. It's just so different now than it was 30-some years ago.
My understanding is that this guy who was drafted number 1 last night played for Tony Parker over in France. If you remember Tony Parker, the great guard for San Antonio when they won all those championships. And so, those guys are getting – France and other countries they're elevating their basketball prowess, and it's happening quickly over there. And, a lot of times NBA teams look at these European players who don't necessarily do what happens here in this country, where it's a lot of AAU and it's all games and not a lot of skill practice. Over there, it's different. They spend a lot of time on skills and those kind of things. So when you see these guys come out of France and other countries, Jokic, for example, their skill level is way up.
Yeah.
It's not because they played a ton of games. It's because they worked all the time on those skill levels.
Where did Jokic come from again? Where's he from?
I want to. I'm not. Is it Croatia? Am I right about
Serbia?
I'm not
Serbia.
sure.
There we go.
Serbia. There you go. Yeah, Serbia.
I mean, yeah, I can just picture these scouts saying, enough with these great players coming out of Serbia. When are some great basketball players going to come from Amsterdam? I want to go spend a few months in Amsterdam.
Somewhere nice.
Chasing high school kids around, and then in my free time, you know what I'm talking about? Let's get some let's make Amsterdam a basketball hotbed so my scouting career can have a little pop to it. Some listeners here are very excited about the two players the Wolves drafted last night, the kid from Illinois and the kid from Kentucky. Here's a text from Timberwolves belong in the Eastern Conference, Jesus, and I agree with the guy's name. He says, we just won the draft. Cancel today's picks. There's no point to it.
People are pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. They still hold, I believe, the 7th pick in round 2. So they will draft again tonight, supposedly. And the young Gopher player was not taken in the first round.
Cam Christie. Yeah.
So is it possible that he may fall to 7 tonight? And if so, the Wolves could add even more firepower, young firepower. Dillingham's only 19 years old.
Oh, man.
Shannon is older. He's 23, but Dillingham's only 19 years old. Mm-hmm. And if you were to add a guy like Cam Christie, who's also 19 years old, think of what that means for down the road for this franchise if those players develop the way you think they will.
No, at number 7, we've got Bronny James coming our way. You forgot about that, Randy.
No, we do not have Bronny James.
Yeah, we got Bronny James, LeBron coming. It's the Bron show.
Per usual, we got some funny text from listeners here. Randy, you mentioned how far down the road it is before the Timberwolves were even affected by this trade. So someone said, so the T-Wolves just gave up on some kid who's 11 right now? Yeah. Pretty much.
Exactly.
And now with Rob Dillingham?
Dillingham.
Okay. I'll always walk with Elias, Jesus said. So now that they've drafted Rob, the Wolves have Ant-Man and Robin as the new dynamic duo of the Wolves.
That's fun.
F me running. All right. Speaking of Cam Christie from the University of Minnesota Golden Gopher basketball program, I don't know who wrote this article, but it's kind of interesting. The Golden Gopher men's program has now gone 20 years without producing a first-round NBA draft pick.
Pioneer Press, if you want to read it.
The last Golden Gopher first-round pick was Chris Humphreys in the year 2004. Who was picked overall by the Utah Jazz that year. Cam Christie had a chance to be that guy last night, but it didn't happen. So the Gophers, it says here, hadn't had any NBA draft picks since, and it was 4 years ago.
No idea.
Big, tall center. I think he played at Creighton, Randy Shaver.
Oturo?
Daniel Oturo. Yes.
Oturo.
Was picked by who was it? Somebody.
Clippers,
no, the Wolves picked him. 33rd overall back in 20+20, but then he was quickly dealt to, I think, the Clippers or the something or another. You were thinking of Amir Coffey, I think, Randy Shaver. Maybe.
Oh, yes.
Amir Coffey. Anyway, Golden Gopher basketball, it hasn't pumped out a hell of a lot of draft picks, but, whatever. Our listeners are absolutely jacked about this draft pick.
Yeah, everything I've read.
I should say, these draft picks.
The Wolves did awesome.
And the thing about this, the thing about this too is it's a gutsy move, right? I mean, Tim Connelly has made moves where certainly the Gobert trade was very skeptical the first year of it, but it's obviously turned out to be quite the trade based on what happened last year. But he's not afraid to make these kind of moves, and it's refreshing to have that in the Timberwolves front office because there's been years, and it's not necessarily McHale and Saunders, but it's after those guys where we've seen disasters in the front office. And this guy he knows what he's doing. He's already built a very strong team, and now he continues to add to it. So
we tore him to shreds last year with Rudy Gobert. We tore that guy to shreds.
But there was a lot of questions as to why. I mean, the thing wasn't working.
No, it proved to be a successful move, but just at first, as we all know, we don't need to revisit it all over again, but we all know that everybody in town thought the Rudy Gobert thing was the biggest disaster since Herschel Walker. But obviously this guy, what's his name again?
Tim Connolly.
Connolly. He obviously knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And we talked about all the French players being drafted last night. What does France have to do to finally get beyond this punchline? I got a couple of texts saying, well, these French players know how to retreat on defense and give up this and give up that. The French can't catch a break. They still get their ass whooped.
I had two buddies in two separate conversations say that yesterday.
The jokes, the French jokes. All right, the Twins pretty much pumped the Arizona Diamondbacks last night. Jose Miranda hit an early 3-run double. Simeon Woods Richardson, he pitched well. The Twins beat Arizona 8-3. Willie Castro launched a dong. Trevor Larnach ripped 2 doubles. 14 hits, 8 extra base hits. Pretty thorough output from the output is how you say it. A pretty thorough output from the Twins lineup.
Yeah, and then they're going to get a chance now to see David Festa pitch tonight. This is the young minor league pitcher who was called up to replace Chris Paddock in the rotation. And so Festa will make his major league debut tonight. This is a guy that strikes people out. He has like 84 strikeouts in 59 innings in AAA, throws hard, and who knows where this could lead to tonight. If he has a great outing and they continue to have injury issues in the rotation, this could be the beginning of something pretty big for the Twins as well. So it'll be fun to watch this kid pitch tonight against Arizona.
A big league debut. That's cool as hell. Yeah, I'll be checking that. Oh, it's this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Yeah, the final. 2
this
o'clock.
Afternoon.
Yeah. Royce Lewis says he's open to competing in the Ding Dong Derby if he is asked.
Good. I hope he does.
If he is asked. You know his direct quote on the topic? He said, I would love to. Someone said, hey, would you perform? Would you go to the home run? And he said, I would love to. That would be sick.
It would be sick.
He did. He said sick. You can tell he's under 26 years old. So Aaron Judge has declined Shohei. He said, I wouldn't bet on it. Nothing on the Shohei joke.
Oh, God. No.
Oh, I had forgotten about that.
Say that. Trust me, he didn't say that.
Shohei said he'd consider it. Royce Lewis, yeah, he said if he's asked, he'll go. Oh, he'd have a blast.
Good.
And I bet he put on a great show.
I think he'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm always jealous of the guys in the home run derby
awesome.
that aren't participating, but they're just hanging out watching. You know, they're sitting on the field in their jerseys, backward hats on. That looks really relaxing and fun.
I wouldn't mind going.
I hear you. They're kicked back. They usually got 3 or 4 kids in their lap. I bet you Royce Lewis would gain even more fans if he showed up on television for the Ding Dong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about that?
Especially if he did well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How about the poor bastard out there pitching for the Cincinnati Reds? Was this yesterday? Jesus criminy, another one of these.
Poor guy.
I think we see more of this in the last few years. I don't know what these new athletes, these young athletes, I don't know what they're eating and drinking before game time, because I feel like we see more of this than we ever have before. The starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds the other day, a kid named Hunter Green. What was this, the second batter of the game? Second or third batter of the game? Yes, the second. He throws a pitch, and then he just barfs all over the mound.
Oh, Hunter Green just got sick after that pitch.
It was almost like one motion. He followed through on the pitch, and then just turned and everything came out.
There was no delay. He delivered the pitch and then all over his shoes, all over the mound.
Oh.
Am I right about that? We're seeing more and more of this.
We are.
Wasn't that the second time he did it? Like in 2 days or 2 starts?
Oh, right. He had done this before. They chalked that up to heat exhaustion or something.
Is it nerves? Oh, okay.
But this
he
time
throws hard. Hunter Green is a hard-throwing starting pitcher for the Reds.
He just cacked. And then, if I'm not mistaken, he gave up a home run to that batter. So he's thinking, great. The whole world just saw me spray the friggin' mound with my breakfast, and now the guy goes yard on me? I mean,
yeah, that sucks.
That's
rude
not,
on his part.
Yeah, that's not fair.
The other starting pitcher's probably sitting there in dugout like, oh, really, man?
Yeah.
I got to go out there next now.
They just put that sawdust
the
on it or
grounds
whatever.
crew go out, clean it up. Yep.
Yuck.
Sometimes that smells even worse, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when kids would throw up in school and they'd come and throw that stuff on there to treat it?
Yeah.
That stuff smelled even worse.
And then they'd put the fan in the room and blow it out the door so the whole hallway stinks.
Like your face.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Dude, you're right about that dust. I mean, it did the trick. It soaked up the puke. That's what it's designed to do. Trust me, I had a brief career as a janitor. I know all about that dust. I know where they kept it. I used it once or twice. It does the job, but there's something about it that makes the smell even more disturbing. In 8th grade, some kid sitting in front of me in English class launched his breakfast all over 2 or 3 people. I think he got it even beyond the first row in front of him. Do you know what I mean?
How bad was life for him after that? Because when I was in school, if you threw up, that was trouble for your reputation. You're going to get crap the rest of your life.
We beat his ass in the hallway. We did. We tuned him up in the hall. No, I have no idea if anyone wrote him for that, but it was just exorcist-level projectile. And I'll never forget the look on the custodian's face when he came in the room, and the look on his face told me he was thinking, I need more dust. Like he didn't bring enough dust to clean up that.
I need more dust.
I need to go back downstairs and get more dust. You didn't tell me it was this bad. That was the look on his face. This kid just, go! There's no turning back.
We had a kid, he was not looking good when he was sitting in his desk, and you could tell he was about to puke. And he was just sitting there forever. It's like, okay, just go out in the hallway. He ran to the window and tried to throw up out the window. But you know how at schools they have the heating vent and everything in front of the window?
Yeah.
So he puked. It went in there and then shot back in the class.
Oh, dude.
That's disgusting.
It's like out of a movie.
Why?
Sounds like something like Adam Sandler directed.
Yeah, now the teacher says, if you're going to puke, just go. Just go out in the hall.
Yeah.
Right in the heater.
Oh, my damn. Randy Shaver, here you go. Something I wanted to bring up yesterday, but we ran out of time. Fantasy sports isn't good for your mental health. You're losing it, son.
I totally disagree.
You're going to end up wandering the streets in the nude.
I'll do that anyway.
Sorting through lineups while touching yourself. You know what I mean? Standing in a drive-through.
And what's the reason why? Why did they say that?
Let me tell you. Due to some new research, the results of a new study, it warns fantasy players that it can become an obsession. The more deeply you engage with the game, the more extreme the emotional experiences become, good and bad experiences. In other words, it can deliver intense emotional highs alongside potentially troubling is how they say it, troubling lows. Have you had those extreme highs and lows while participating in fantasy sports?
I've had quite a few highs when teams win and you make it to the playoffs or the finals of whatever sport you're involved in. But
tell us about the lows. I want to hear about the lows.
I've had a few very disappointing once I've gotten to a playoff situation. And it's all, to be honest with you, it's all self-inflicted because I put the wrong player in, or the guy that I thought was going to have the big week ends up not having the big week, and you just kind of kick yourself and go, why did I do that? That was dumb. So I've had those, but
okay.
Any player you might have. Sorry, go ahead, Randy.
I was just going to say I love it because it's just so. It's good for me for this job because I learned so much about all these players. There are things that I would never have given a rip about teams and players, but because of this, it makes you pay attention and it makes you want to learn about who some of these guys are. So that's probably the biggest reason why I do it, is because I enjoy learning about players and situations for teams and things like that I wouldn't necessarily pay attention to if I didn't do that. So,
I think nowadays it seems like it's more the athlete's mental health you have to worry about because of the death threats they get if they have a bad game or if they have too good of a game, or however it works out for the fantasy game.
I was going to say also, Josh, yes, the trendy new move for you obsessive fantasy sports dorks, the new move is to then threaten the athlete that let you down, that you threaten them on social media.
It's crazy. I can't imagine being that emotionally invested in it.
That's how you sort those kind of lows out. You threaten the athlete that let you down, who has no idea you were counting on him.
There was a kid in the NCAA tournament this year. He was a senior, barely played, but got in at the end of a blowout, probably his last game, and hit a three, and the bench goes crazy for him. It was cool. It's clearly his last game he's ever going to play. And he's all excited, and he gets back to his locker. He checks his phone, got a bunch of messages, assumes it's friends and family. No, it was death threats from people because his garbage time three killed people's over-under bets. And they were like, you idiot, you screwed us over. F you, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your family.
That's insane. That's what I mean. Like, you do too well, and you can get in trouble over it.
That's awesome. Now, here's the part where I directly worry about you, Randy Shaver. Again, we're talking about fantasy sports, playing games with your mental health. The negative mental health outcomes weren't just for people who came in last place. They were also common in players who were the most competitive. And that's you, dude. Your competitive side is off the charts. And I worry that someday you're going to give way.
I'll be fine.
Randy doesn't admit this.
I have it all under control.
He doesn't admit this, but he has lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on fantasy sports over the last few years. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The retirement would have happened a decade ago if it wasn't for the fantasy football debts.
And the prostitutes.
He also spends spends a few bucks on prostitutes, Josh says. Wow. Hey, a little bit of hockey we can talk about.
Really?
Yeah. 2 Twin Cities natives and
for the draft. Okay.
No, we're not getting there yet. We will mention the draft here in a minute. We will.
Oh, okay.
2 Twin Cities natives, former Golden Gopher hockey players, Natalie Darwitz and Chrissy Wendelpole, have been elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
And rightly so. I'm surprised it's taken this long.
I mean, for Christ's sake, they won multiple medals in the Olympics. They international competition off the charts, all-time greats. Natalie Darwitz, Chrissy Wendelpole.
Am I wrong about this? Are they the most decorated female hockey players in the state ever? I can't think of 2 other female hockey players that have had more success on every level, than those two ladies. They've been fantastic.
You got me. There's no way that I could come up with any names.
Well, I mean, I covered Natalie Darwitz and Chrissy when they were in high school. Remember, Chrissy Wendell also played for the Brooklyn Park or Brooklyn Center Little League team. She was the catcher on the team that went to the Little League World Series.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yep. And so, but those 2 in high school, in college, international play, I can't think of 2 other female hockey players in this state that have had more success than those two.
Well, I grew up in Egan. Everybody knew who Natalie Darwitz was. She was on the varsity team by like third grade, it seemed like.
She was in seventh grade.
Yeah.
Yes.
She whooped a llama's ass. They're going to be going in with Jeremy Roenick. Give me a break. No, I mean, Jeremy Roenick was a great player, but I kind of want to punch him in the mouth.
He kind of has that about him, doesn't he? Well, not just his face, but also he seems a little persnickety.
Well, for me, it's just the fact that he was a rival Chicago Blackhawk for so many years. I don't know. I haven't seen him interviewed in so long. I don't know. Does he have a bit of a pompous edge to him?
He used to. Remember, we used to play some... Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, John.
I was going to say, we used to play clips from him, like, because he'd be angry at just the drop of a hat. He'd just kind of go off on people.
I don't.
I think he was part of a broadcast team that either a pregame, postgame hockey show. And didn't he also work for the Arizona team? Wasn't he like I thought he did something front office related.
All of that sounds very familiar. I really couldn't tell you one way or the other. Yeah, all of that sounds right to me, but I have not kept up with the man. Jeremy Roenick, he's been waiting for over a decade. Pavel Datsyuk, prick that he is also going in. Again, I don't know anything about his personality, but he played for those friggin' Red Wings teams that would not leave us alone year after year after year. Shea Weber, big, massive defenseman for many years. And then there's some executives and whatnot that are going in. November 11th in Toronto, that whole schmear will set off. We'll get to see Natalie Darwitz and Chrissy Wendelpole going on into the hall. One thing I remember about Jeremy Roenick, and I don't know for sure if this was for real or Photoshop, but I think this was before real deal Photoshopping. There was a picture that went around the internet years and years ago. Jeremy Roenick, someone had broken his jaw for him while he was out on the ice, and I'd like to shake that man's hand. But someone had broken Jeremy Roenick's jaw for him, and there was a picture of Roenick after his jaw was shattered, and he was sitting in front of two tall glasses. One was like baby diarrhea brown. It was filled with a baby diarrhea brown liquid. The other was filled with like a you just blew your nose green liquid, right?
Yeah, and then there's an orange one, and then it looks like he has a Bud Light or something.
Oh, okay. Wow. What the story was that because he was walking around town with a broken jaw, one glass, the brown, was a steak he was going to suck up with a straw. The green was asparagus that he was going to suck up with a straw. What are they claiming the orange was? Potatoes?
I'm not sure. Doesn't really say. It's like a Twitter photo.
Okay. I don't know if that was legit or a joke.
Sweet potatoes.
Ew, no.
Or if he really had an entire three-course meal through a straw because of is that a common thing? Anyone know anyone who had their jaw broken for him?
Yes, because I did.
Oh, that's right, because your teeth were so mangled.
Yeah, I had my jaw broken, and I mean, I would do this exact same thing. Like, I would take chicken breasts and have to put them in a blender and then, like, liquefy it with some water.
It got to that point? Was that bad?
Why? Yeah, because it's like, I think I lost like 20 pounds, and I had no weight to lose, so.
But why, this is where I'm going with this, why suck a food through a straw that was never meant to be sucked through a straw? Why not just live? Well, for how long was your jaw wired shut? A month?
No, it was 3 months.
And you couldn't just live on foods that could, ice cream, Jell-O, whatever more naturally.
You get sick of it
for 3 months.
Yeah. That's not very good. And you get sick of stuff too. Like, I remember having a bunch of mashed potatoes. I would have
was it just
tuna.
Brutal? I mean, tuna through a straw?
Yeah.
How could you do
that?
Tuna
with mayo, make a tuna salad sandwich pretty much, but without the bread.
I mean, so that must have been brutal. Just
it was horrible.
That sounds awful.
It was absolutely horrible.
Oh, I love soup, though. You get to go through a bunch of soup.
Yeah, there you go, soup. See, you could have just had soup.
Yeah, no, not for 3 months.
Oh, I could live off
such a variety of soups. Let me run down the entire variety of soups.
Please do, Josh.
I love Josh's passion for soup.
We went out to lunch yesterday, and Ashley predicted I'd get some soup. I couldn't get soup at a burger joint.
Nope, you didn't get soup.
But I do love it.
I mean, I understand, Wapple, in that case, you got to do what you got to do. So I'm going to go ahead and believe the Jeremy Roenick picture because you had a similar experience. Okay.
Yeah, it's even coming from his Twitter account, too. He posted this picture.
I understand that you got to do what you got to do, but I would gut out the 3 months of soup and give me another food you can eat through a straw, chili, before I had a tuna smoothie, for Christ's sake.
Man, desperate times.
Randy Shaver, don't you think you could have gone without a tuna smoothie?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
That sounds gross. Yeah, I could not have done that.
It's like even chili. You have to take all the chili and throw everything in a blender and blend it up because you can't have any chunks at all.
No, I get it. I understand the process. There's just no way. Steak through a straw?
No, I could never do it.
Did you lose all that weight because you were vomiting everything up as soon as it was over?
He couldn't throw up. His jaw was wired shut.
Oh,
that'd be terrible.
Or something.
Yeah, when I was in the hospital,
that's not coming out.
Yeah, when I was in the hospital, I found out that I could not take morphine because I throw up on it, and that was a doozy.
Oh.
So your jaws, you just got out of surgery, jaws wired shut, you look like a chipmunk, and then you're throwing up and you can't move your mouth.
Awful. That sounds brutal.
I didn't think you can't even spray vomit through the wires?
No, my mouth could only open up like the size of a straw, like the width of a straw.
That's hilarious.
No, it wasn't.
You did not have a good time.
No, it was not.
It sounds funny to me. I mean, I'm having a good time with it, if that helps you at all.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on now? When is the NFL, not the NFL, what do they call the hockey league?
The NHL?
When is that draft happening?
Let's see.
I want to say is it tomorrow?
I thought I had it in front of me.
Yes, tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow and Saturday.
Okay. Tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and they're doing it at the Sphere. I totally forgot about that.
The Steer?
The Sphere.
I
in
love that
Las
thing.
Vegas.
That
you
thing is so cool.
You might need to get your jaw corrected. I couldn't understand what you were saying.
Yeah, the S's and H's together, not good. Because of the jaw surgery, actually.
Really?
Yeah, full circle.
Where am I going with this? What was I talking about? The NHL draft is tomorrow night. Oh, the award ceremonies are tonight. And so some of you Pigs fans might be wondering if old Brock Faber might win Rookie of the Year, the Calder Trophy. There was a little write-up on it in the paper. He's going up against that Bedard kid from Chicago. It's like a two-man race is what everyone's saying. It's either going to be Faber or Bedard winning tonight's Rookie of the Year. Wouldn't that be great for Faber to walk out of, I don't know where they're having the award ceremony. I think it might be out in Annandale or something. I have no idea. But wouldn't it be cool if he was able to come away with the Rookie of the Year? He had a great year.
I don't think he's the favorite to win that.
No, it is Bedard. Bedard is the favorite.
Yeah.
But what impressed me more than anything about Brock Faber this past season, sure, points this, power play that. What impressed me more than anything is he put in more ice time than damn near any swinging D in the NHL. He was on the ice constantly like a veteran, and I know no one wants to hear this name, but it was very Ryan Suter-like, the way the guy could just chomp up big chunks of ice time and play well like a veteran, and he was a rookie. That is what tells the story for me.
Well, also, the Wild injury situation allowed that to happen. It gave him that opportunity, and the great thing about it is he took complete advantage of it. And you could just see him getting better and better as the season went along, mainly because of all the opportunities that he had to be on the ice. So he deserves the opportunity to win this award tonight, but I really think Bedard's going to end up getting it. So.
Good Lord, I'm going to throw up before this is over. People who have had similar experiences to Jeremy Roenick and Muppet Nuts over there with their jaws wired shut are talking about what they ate through a straw. Canned ham.
No.
Yeah, another one said that their mom put pizza in a blender.
There's got to be better options.
That's what I'm saying. I would just do soup for 3 months. I don't care how sick I got of soup. that would just be the end of it.
Oh, I think you would go nuts. Nick would have a rage.
I don't
He'd
think so,
throw
dude.
a bowl of soup out the window. Ah!
Well, no, by the end of it, I'm sure I would be frustrated. There's no doubt there would be frustration, but I would cut through it. Canned ham blended into a glass. No way.
Not doing it. Not doing it ever.
That just sounds gross.
I'm gonna bring everybody in breakfast smoothies tomorrow.
I don't think I could get sick of soup. You have so many options. You got alphabet
You know what
soup.
you should do, Dana?
Yeah.
Here's what you should do. Create like 4 different blended drinks and don't tell them what's in it and let them taste it and then try to name what's in the drink.
I would vomit.
That's not a bad idea.
No chance.
No one would do it, though.
Nope.
That reminds me of one Monday, years ago, one Monday morning, Josh came into work, and he said, "You're not going to believe what happened to me this past weekend." And I said, "What?" And he said, "I went to an Iowegian wedding." And I said, "You did?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, "And I won second place in a raffle at the wedding reception." And I said, "Really? What did you win?" And he said, "A night with the bride." And I said, "What was first place?" And he said, "A canned ham." One more hockey note. This was hilarious. So the Oilers lost Game 7. What was that? Anywhere between 3 days and 11 months ago. When was Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals? Okay.
It was this week, Monday night.
This week. They had all the cops. Every cop in Edmonton was on the streets bracing themselves for a riot like the fans in Vancouver did 13, 14 years ago when the Canucks lost Game 7. Everyone in Vancouver went mental, and they burned the city to the ground. So all the Edmonton cops are out on the street waiting for this riot. But they said they had a fairly eventful, the cops said they had a fairly uneventful evening after the Oilers lost Game 7. They said, Oilers fans, I can't help it, this is so funny, we're too heartbroken to riot.
The world's saddest riot.
That's hilarious.
I mean, really, they fought their way back to tie that series.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is the ultimate. That's like a Minnesota sports team right there. That's like the ultimate disappointment.
Dude's got a claw hammer in one hand and a blowtorch in the other, and he just kind of puts it down and says, "You know what? What's the point? I'm just going to go home and crawl into bed with my Bryan Adams records and my copy of Crocodile Dundee. I'm just going to go to bed." There were 5 people taken into custody for intoxication, but it says here they weren't even watching the game.
Oh, they're just local drunks.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun. What else is going on? People are calling Conor McGregor a bitch for canceling an upcoming fight due to a pinky toe injury.
How bad can you really mess up your pinky toe?
Oh, that cracked me up when I read that. He has a legitimate pinky toe injury. I think Conor McGregor's completely lost his mind. And this happened many years ago. The guy's nuts. He's nuts. And now I think he cares more about just getting laid from being in movies now and again. I don't think he really cares about fighting anymore. But he took a picture of his black and blue pinky toe to say, well, sorry, folks, I can't fight in the whatever big fight he was headed towards in a month or so. Sorry, I broke my pinky toe. I'm out. And everybody just launched this attack on him on social media. It was pretty funny. Maybe he had to be there. Sorry, I'm drunk. I'm drunk.
That's not fair. I'm sure that hurts like a mother, especially if that's a kicking foot that you're going to kick somebody with.
I'm sure it hurts, Randy. I don't care. It was just funny that everyone went after the guy. The guy's a prick.
Yeah, I wonder if it was the same leg, too, that he broke.
I don't know.
Oh, God, that was so bad.
Oh, what was it, his left one? Because I think it was his left pinky toe.
Yeah, so it was that leg.
Oh, that was disgusting.
I just like, just average schmucks going after this guy because I think he's had it coming. I think the guy's a world-class prick, and I just like your average fight fan just lighting the guy up on social media. And there were other fighters, not that I know Dick Tracy about you, I don't know who these people are, but there were other fighters who said, what the hell's the matter with you? I fought last week with a broken ankle, with a ruptured shoulder.
Oh, yeah, and they're posting photos of their injuries, and they fought through that. That's pretty impressive. There was one guy's foot was the size of like 7 feet. It was so swollen.
But he squeezed it into a boot, and
he did it. Yep.
That's funny to me. I don't know.
So, Nick?
Yes.
You talk about saving a young child's life when you were at a Saints game?
Yes.
Go on Twitter this morning and look up the Twitter handle is Baseball History Nut.
Yeah, someone's going to have to do this for me. Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Watch the Dodgers bat boy make this incredible catch, saving Ohtani from getting hit by a foul ball.
Okay.
I'm watching it right now, and the kid is just like cool and calm, but he makes an incredible play. Oh. And I'm thinking of you.
Okay.
Because I'm sure that's maybe kind of what it looked like.
Someone's going to have to send me that video because I've never been on Twitter in my life. I have no idea how to operate.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
you guys
it.
watching it? Yeah.
He's like even
That's
shocked
pretty good.
he caught it too. He was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I mean, it was just the caption says he had his spidey senses, and that's actually what it looks like too. He's a hero.
I look forward to seeing
Saved
the video.
Ohtani.
I'm sure someone will send me that as soon as they can.
I wish the days were back when like the Bat Boy was like 2 years old, 3 years old. This guy looks like he's like got a kid.
Well, I don't know, Wapple. I don't know what era of baseball where the Bat Boy was 2.
You know what I'm saying?
They used to be 11 or 12. But
grown men.
Yeah, now they're grown men with wives and kids. I don't get why that movement happened.
little
but
weird, yeah.
They actually used to be like the kids of the players, right? They would.
Oh, I didn't know that.
your-
That's
your little-
adorable.
Yeah.
Or you'd
not
win
anymore.
at Subway.
Oh, that's right. They
What?
did have those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could sign up to get your name in the drawing to be like a Bat Boy, or was it a TC Bear, Mini Bear, or something?
That's
It was one of those
hilarious.
two.
I wonder how many times the Twins turned a kid down to be the Bat Boy because they said, "Look, this kid's too great of a risk," or something. You know what I mean? Because you're just signing up in Subway. You might not even know how to field a baseball or how to right.
Yeah.
That I just watched the video. That was an amazing catch.
Yeah.
I don't know how did he think that fast, much less catch that thing. Wow.
Just react.
Well, like the dude said, we were talking about the dude in Baltimore who made the great catch, and this kid in L.A. and I'll speak on it as well. When you're like the guy from Baltimore said, when you're good, you're good. If you got those kind of skills, you just got them. There's no explaining it. You're just born with it.
Did he hand that to a fan, or is that somebody working with the Dodgers there?
I think it was somebody else in the dugout there. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a hell of a lot of fun. All right. Sorry, Randy
All
Shaver.
right.
I haven't been able to see the video.
all right.
I'll watch it when I have some free time. But here we are, tomorrow morning. Tomorrow in general. Randy's last day.
This is my last full day of TV today.
This is it.
That's great.
That's huge.
How are you feeling?
My last full day. You know what? I'm ready. It's been kind of a crazy week of talking to people, and I've had so many people reach out to me on Facebook and social, and I appreciate everybody for doing that. It's been very, very, very nice. But to be honest with you, I'm ready to put this all behind me and move on.
Is it going to be like the last day of school?
I'm looking forward to it.
You're going to be like the last day of school. Randy's got a bunch of papers. He runs out the building and just throws them up in the air.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like. Yeah. But it'll today will be fun. I know Julie's got a story that's running tonight at 10, and then tomorrow will be great. And once 6:31 happens tomorrow night, turn the page.
It's on.
Oh, so just the 6 for you tomorrow, huh?
Just the 6. Yeah,
Okay.
I told, I think I've said this before, when we were planning all this out, I told my general manager, look, Friday nights in the summertime, I don't want to be at work at 10:30 on a Friday night. No way. So let's just do the 6 and call it a day. So
It would be kind of fun if
we're doing.
you guys are talking about different things, and after every story, you just go, don't care.
Yeah.
No longer care.
Yeah.
Not my problem. The presidential debates are
Josh,
tonight. Don't care.
Josh, I don't have to say that out loud. I just think it.
I'm sure there's times.
I do get the sense. I get the sense from watching you on television the last couple of nights where they're doing these little, let's go back in time little bit. I get the sense you're a little tired of all the farewell Randy stuff at this point. But we're going to try to set something up for you tomorrow on the program. I did notice a few weeks ago on KARE 11, I don't know who it was. Julie Nelson maybe said, hey, send your farewell messages to Randy. Oh, God, I had one ready for you, but I couldn't send it. It was going to be like that Silence of the Lambs bit, the guy who was tucking it kind of a thing. I didn't think he'd run it on television. We might have something for you special tomorrow, so enjoy your last real day of work, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, Randy.
Sounds good.
Thanks, bud. We'll be back in a few minutes.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
Short-term rental, once you purchase the property, you're now in hospitality.
New episodes available every day.
I often tell people the easier it is to find a deal, the less likely that deal is actually a deal.
Bigger Pockets, On the Market, Rookie Real Estate, or Money Podcast.
There's one sad-looking house that's still for sale with very bad pictures in a suboptimal location.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Well, damn, here's the deal. It's more or less our last real day of work before our Independence Day vacation. Randy Shaver was just saying a few minutes ago, today is his last day of work, his last real day of work on television. Tomorrow, he's going on the 6 o'clock news for his final farewell, Randy, happy retirement kind of a broadcast. But today's his last real day of work. Same here. Tomorrow's a giant F-off day for us. And then tomorrow night, we're going to climb aboard that boat and try and instigate some one-night stands with our listening audience. Boat party tomorrow night.
For the record, I'm not going to be doing that. I'd like it to be a meaningful, longer relationship than just a one-night stand.
I suppose that's
if
more
I can make it work.
You're more interested in forging some companionship that may lead to a relationship?
Yeah, like making a real connection,
But tomorrow's show, our morning show, don't care. Big time F-off day. Here's something we didn't get to during the sports with Randy Shaver. I meant to throw it into the mix, but you know how things happen. You run out of time. You start talking about this, that.
Back to it, that kind of thing.
How about Stone Cold Steve Austin? One of our favorite characters. In the world. Stone Cold Steve Austin. It appears that he has, in his retirement, become an Instagram cat dad.
Hey, what's up? It's Steve. Come to the Broken Skull Ranch. Hanging out with Pancho. Pancho is the man. What a handsome guy. Way to go, Punchy. I tell you what, man, that's a solid-ass cat. He is in shape. You'd think he was in the gym, would be training every day, but it's just natural genetics, ain't it, Pancho? Macho's coming up on him, Macho. Oh, come here. Come on. There he is. Man, cat's like a dog.
I love that guy.
So am I correct about this? He spends a lot of his time on his ranch posting videos on Instagram of his cats, and he talks about them, and he cares for them, and this and that. Is that what I'm to believe?
Yeah. I'm not on Instagram, but yesterday's the first I saw the story, so I don't know. He's been doing this for a while. It was new to me.
That's kind of what it says here.
In his older age, he's kind of embraced kind of the softer side of things. Of course, we know him from the WWE, beer drinking, stunners, driving beer trucks down the aisle, and now he posts pictures of him enjoying nice glasses of wine, posts videos of his cats. He's very much kind of embracing the retirement lifestyle.
Randy Shaver, he'll be there soon.
He'll be that soft.
Yeah, he'll be. He's softened up.
That soft cat lover type character. Yep. You think once he's done with television, this has got to piss off. That there's a segment of society who's just super hard on in their pants 24 hours a day. Dogs this, dogs that. Cats are this and cats suck. And this has got to piss some of those people off that one of the baddest sumbitches on the planet, Stone Cold Steve Austin, is running around his ranch petting cats all day long.
That's so cute.
I love it.
Oh, look at Steelers fan Jesus. He's one of them. He's done. He is done with Stone Cold.
Well, what's the problem, Steelers fan Jesus? What's the problem? Get back to us. Explain yourself. I love it. I think that's hilarious. Stone Cold's such a likable guy in the first place, and now he's doing Instagram cat videos. That's a beautiful friggin' thing.
It really is. I love it.
So you mentioned the WWE, and we're talking social media stuff here. The Haktua girl, the WWE has interest in getting her involved in some sort of future deal.
No way.
Sounds like everybody has interest in that girl right now.
Yeah.
But WWE's always the first group. Anyone who catches a little bit of lightning in a bottle just for a split second, WWE wants to put him in a match, usually against The Miz. Because The Miz can carry dorks like that. He's done it before.
Now, I'm not ripping on this girl, but it is weird. Like, back in the day, to get famous, you had to learn how to play an instrument or be an incredible writer, or you could play a sport better than anybody else. You know, you have wonderful ideas for inventions, running businesses. You know, you want to serve your community. That's how you would get well known. But not anymore. I mean, she's the biggest star on the planet right now.
Right now, all you have to do is admit you spit on wieners, and all of a sudden you're getting Hollywood contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's funny. Good for her. Really good for her that she's become, I guess, an internet star. We don't need to put her in a match against Eddie Guerrero's wife. You know, we don't need to do that.
Do it.
But, I mean, WWE has always led the charge on that, you know. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Yeah, look at Logan Paul.
Hey, tomorrow night on Raw, the kid who talked about corn. You know what I mean?
I love the corn kid.
I got nothing against the corn kid.
Adorable.
Him going up against the Big Show, that would be a mismatch.
But he doesn't have to have a chair versus chair match against the Big Show. He doesn't.
Yes, it does. It has to be a hardcore match so he can use the corn on the cob.
All right. Here's the deal. We were joking around earlier. We like to bust chops around here about what a miserable operation this place can be. I mean, earlier this morning, if anyone logged on our website, it said right on the front page, it said, let me try to piece the words again together. It said temporarily out of order from lack of payment.
That's right.
We did not pay the bill, apparently, on our website, and it was offline for a little while. It's just perfect around here at times. You can't make this stuff up, how backwards ass this operation can be. So we had a little fun with that. Speaking of work, what do you guys think? Are our bosses spying on us while we're working?
No.
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Anyone?
I was thinking of just physically being in here.
No.
Picture like
through
behind a
window.
bush.
I forgot, they could just turn on the radio.
Well, turn on the radio. That's not what I mean either. I mean, that's not spying. Anyone can turn on the radio. I'm talking about, this is what I was, and anyone who thinks that maybe their bosses are checking on them, spying on them in this fashion, text us, 651-989-93. We'd love to hear some stories. We're talking about work-issued devices like a computer or a phone. Mm-hmm. The conversation that I read said odds are you are being spied on by your boss.
That makes total sense.
Yep.
So are we all, you got to tell me because I don't even know. What I'm staring into right now, would this be a work-issued device?
Yes.
Yes.
Does it have a camera on it?
It does.
Yes.
I don't think they're checking the camera, but certainly what you're doing on that thing.
Activities, yep.
We're getting more and more locked down, right? On the programs you're allowed to use, things like that.
Okay, so you think that they're checking what websites I go to?
Possibly. They certainly could if they wanted to.
Okay.
I mean, they block a lot of stuff too, right? So that's all monitored.
What do they block?
Oh, really? Stuff is blocked?
Yeah, and like extensions and things like that you might use in a web browser, gone. You know, a lot of that's for just so nobody, screws the company with some phishing, falling for phishing attempts and stuff like that, which Dana, by the way, fell for 3 fake ones?
Oh, at least, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of Dana was 2 and I was 3.
And they shame the hell out of you, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they let you know it.
Yeah,
it's basically a big sign that is just like, you are a dumbass.
Yes, and then they even shoot that, sometimes on the computer screen they have confetti.
Yeah.
They blast the confetti at the screen. Bah, loser.
Yep. Now, keep in mind, we also have cameras in the studios.
Yep, I was just going to say that.
And Ashley, you're not going to like this, But anytime you use your little key fob, they know when you got here.
When you leave, they know.
Okay, I was aware of that. Okay. Yeah, when you get here, we got a little key fob. Beep, you get in the building. I'm sure plenty of you in our listening audience have that same setup. Office bill. Yeah, did you know that, Ashley, that they know, because of that key fob, it's all on record what time you get here?
I kind of like that because it shows that I get here probably earlier than I sit down. Because we go, don't you guys do the late days?
All of us get here earlier than we sit down.
No, I know, but we count because of what you guys have said in the past. We only count it once I sit. So
yes,
I don't know what we're talking about here.
What we have said in the past, and this is just because you sometimes, you had a habit for a long time of showing up about 30 seconds before we went on air.
Yeah.
So, and everybody else is here like 2 hours ahead of you or whatever. And I'm not ripping on you. I'm just saying this is kind of how it is. So we had said, all right, how about this to be fair? You can be the last one here.
Right.
But you should be sitting down by 5 a.m. and working.
Sitting by 5 a.m. ready to work.
Yes. So that's what it was.
Yeah. So I said I'm good on the fob situation though. But I'm good. That'll stay before 5 for the.
I don't think the
majority
company
of the time.
likes when you're 20 minutes late. Some days when you don't show up, you don't message us until the morning of. You're sick.
Really think overall, Ashley, if the company looked into the time that key fob goes beep, you really think if the company looked into that, you'd be on the winning side of things?
I'd be here before 5, or I'd be here before 5. Yeah.
The idea is you're supposed to be like working at 5.
Yeah,
working.
I know, but we were talking about the key fob in specifics.
All right, you go.
I think you're missing the point. I mean, because we could run down you've been late 35 times since we began tracking, later than 30 minutes 2 times, and you've otherwise missed 5 days.
I thought we were just talking about the fob.
It's not going to help you if you get mad.
It doesn't work. See, the idea is like when you're working, not when you get here, right?
So we got computers in front of us.
You can't convince me this email stuff. Oh, my God, it's so tough to get into the email. There's got to be something there.
You think they're tracking us somehow through our emails?
Oh, yeah.
And, it's very difficult to use some of that stuff.
And then I had to get everything that I need to use to work, I had to get it on my phone also. My personal phone.
Yeah.
There's like a little work tab that's on my phone now. They know what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, that's
I hate that.
That's why I don't like to use it on my phone. But you're right. And then some people have company phones, right? So they get a cell phone for work. They're tracking that.
And then they can track where you're going if you have the company phone.
We just talked last week, I believe it was, about some employees at Wells Fargo who got fired because they realized they were using those little mouse movers instead of doing actual work.
Oh, okay. This stuff is just insane to me. So, okay, back to the cameras in these studios. Those haven't worked since the mid-'90s, right?
I don't think so. I don't know if they ever actually worked.
They look ancient.
I'm not sure if they ever.
But they're probably still there just because you're gonna second guess yourself before you do something stupid. All of this stuff is really interesting to me because most of it I don't understand. So our bosses could be watching us through the cameras on our work-issued computers. They could be tracking what websites we go to. There's the cameras. This is interesting. Here's Crazy Fish Guy Jesus, because we asked our listeners, if you think your bosses are checking you out, let us know. I'd love to know more on this story, but Crazy Fish Guy Jesus says, our boss hired a snitch.
Really?
I'd love to hear more on that. So you really think your boss hired someone just to listen in on conversations, catch wind of who's bitching and who's not, and then go report back to the boss? A lot of folks, drivers are texting in saying, yeah, we got cameras in the cabs of our trucks now.
Oh, sure.
No more beating off on that long road trip to Lincoln, you know what I mean?
For the most part, people aren't actively watching that stuff, though. It's just if something happens and they can
Well, how
go
do you
back
know
and prove
that?
it.
How do you know that?
Because who has the time to sit and watch all that? They're not going to pay somebody to do that.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to count on that, Ashley. You're probably right, but I'm not going to count on that. That makes me nervous.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would definitely make you second guess things, like you were saying earlier.
Chem teacher? Chem teacher. She just mentions they have apps they can track students and what they're up to on their school-issued computers and tablets and things like that.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's a great thing. That really is. I don't know if us grown folks should be watched 24 hours a day. I don't know if I were the big boss, I don't know. I might I might not like the idea. Sure, you want everyone to behave, and I want to make sure people are doing their jobs. But watching them through their computers, tracking everything they're doing, that feels wrong to me. But for kids, sure. I think that's a great idea. That way you know, if there's a fifth grader looking up how to buy hand grenades on a website, you're going to know about it. You know what I mean? If you were the big boss, Josh, would you feel comfortable, sitting on your computer and let's check on Donnie? Let's check on...
No, I think like Ashley said, it'd be one of those things where if something happened, you'd have to go back and look.
Then it'd be valuable. Yeah, I would just feel... What about using the company Wi-Fi? How does that work? How can they... does anyone know?
Well, you can track activity on that.
Okay.
You probably can at your home, too. You just don't know it.
No, I don't know anything about this stuff.
Yeah, they could probably see when you walk in the building because your phone connects to the Wi-Fi, so then they can track you that way, too.
Oh, good call. That's another one.
If your boss wanted to view private messages between employees on things like Slack or email, they could, according to this article in front of me. Sorry about the gas. And it finally says here, and I can't wait to check text from what people are saying about whether their bosses are keeping an eye on them, and if so, how. You might think this is BS and invasive. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people who just, this stuff takes them into a rage. The idea that they're being watched in any way they think of as just absolutely. Then again, there are other people who think we're being watched by fake birds in the sky. There's both sides of this. It says here there really isn't much you can do. There are very few laws that protect the rights of employees in situations like these. So if you F up and it's on camera or you went to a website you shouldn't go to, you can bitch all you want.
Yeah, I wonder how that works. I guess if they're saying, hey, you're on our time, maybe they can do whatever.
And they probably have some statements in your employee agreement that is kind of an overall umbrella over a lot of different things that they can bust you for. So it's like, well, hey, you acknowledge you signed it.
Josh would know. He's the one that actually reads those things.
Well, I could tell you, I've mentioned before, they're in the handbook, it says if you're talking about things not work-related. Well, I should say it did the last time I read it. Not work-related, then you're stealing company time.
I love that bit. That's one of the greatest bits of all time.
What'd you do over the weekend? Shut up, dude. I don't want to get in trouble. Did you get that TPS report?
And you mentioned that was in some paperwork?
That was in the company handbook.
And actually, wasn't it actually said out loud to us once? Right?
Nobody said that to me.
I thought at one of those big, boring meetings where everyone's sitting in the same room, I swear to God, this is 10 years ago or so, some boss actually said that out loud, seriously said, if you are not committed 100% of your time here to how to make this company more money, we consider it stealing from the company.
God, that's so dumb.
If you check an email from your sick mother, if you take a phone call from, you know what I'm talking about? You're stealing money from the company. Give me a big, fat, stinking break on that garbage. Will you please? We got to take a break. And I guess we should talk to our boss about all this stuff. Maybe we should need to clear the air on all this and find out who's watching, what are they. And I just found out we have a new boss, Josh.
We do?
Because of the popularity of the Hawk Tua girl, she is now the program director at 93X. She's going to WrestleMania, and she's the new
Half-assed morning show 93X.
Oh, wow. This has been a lot of fun. We were having a conversation about Are our bosses watching us at all times through our computers that we have in front of us? If we have a company, what do you call it? Company blank phone.
Cell phone?
Company
issued
phone, thank you. Cameras in the building. And a lot of our listeners know everything about this stuff.
Some people are really locked down. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're getting watched all the time and in all kinds of different ways. These text messages are great. This is something that I never really think about, so this is really interesting for me. How often are you watched and how? What's it like? Here are some of the takes from our listening audience. This guy maybe is doing it. You tell me, Josh, is this guy doing it all wrong? A listener texted in to say, my job has cameras with mics all over the place. I talk constantly about our manager. He recently promoted some other guy who's less qualified than me. Probably because he's bald and a dumbass. Is that guy doing it wrong?
It's yet to be determined. There's time.
Cameras and mics all over the place.
Yeah, why won't you give me a promotion?
But he's just going to let her buck. Probably because the boss is bald and a dumbass. Okay, here's a listener, taxidermy Jesus. Cameras all over the building, mainly for security reasons, but he says our new manager just sits on his phone and watches us work all day.
Oh, man.
It's very creepy.
That is creepy.
And then it's like, wait, I'm doing all the work and you just get to sit in the office watching us?
Hey, man, it's a hell of a deal when you become the manager. That's what we're all shooting for. We want to become that. We want to become that person who's just looking at their phone, watching everyone else
Just
work.
a supervisor.
You got to earn it, Wapple.
Hey, do that. Don't do that.
Good point here. One listener says a little bit of watching is probably smart, but it can easily get out of hand. Absolutely. Garbage truck drivers, we mentioned they have cameras in the cabs. Any professional driver, a lot of them now have cameras in the cabs. And they don't sound like they like it too much in certain situations. Here's a guy who says there are corporate people wearing their suits who have never driven anything more than a sedan criticizing our every move.
That would be frustrating.
Yeah.
So, have you ever worked any place where they searched you on the way out? I worked at a retailer where anytime you left, they searched you.
Oh. Yes, and it was only when I worked retail.
Yep, it was retail for me too. Yep.
So
that's the only place I've ever had that happen.
That was
the old
humbling.
pat down?
Yep, pat down. If you had a backpack or something.
That's really interesting. Now, Josh, I've never heard of that. So they wanted to make sure you didn't take a pair of socks with you.
Yep, exactly.
It actually happened, Josh, at my very first job I ever had. So I believe I was 14 at the time. And I felt so, almost offended because I didn't know that was, a normal thing. And I thought, why do they think I'm a thief? Why would I ever steal?
Oh. Okay, so you thought it was just you?
Yeah.
That's funny. We remember our coworker, Allie, she had thought that she was picked on because, when you go to the doctor and they'll have you point to the face as to how you're feeling that day, the emoji.
Oh, yeah.
Your mental health evaluation.
Because she had told a doctor once, she was going through something at the time. She told doctor, so she thought after she mentioned that they picked on her, and it bothered her. But the relief on her face, we said, no, they do that to everybody now.
She thought she was the one patient where they were always bothering her about her. How you feeling mentally like that? But everybody gets that question.
Yeah, everyone gets that question. She didn't know. And you don't know, right? How would you know?
Yeah.
So
that's great.
I liked the look of relief on her face. She felt a lot better. So actually, I'd imagine you had the same thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Here's a listener says even on vacation, his boss is watching them on some kind of remote device. Another listener, I don't know if this is true, but another listener says at convenience stores, cash register employees are filmed constantly.
Yeah.
Now, some of this, to some of you, all of this is shady. But there are some gimmicks your boss might pull that are extra shady. Here's a listener who says, my old boss would leave their AirPods in a meeting room on accident.
Oh.
That's smart.
That's shady.
AirPods, I'm not sure. So they could listen in? Is that what that does?
Yeah, you can listen in.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Well, I could tell you I worked at another place where there were hidden cameras everywhere. That was our security had put in hidden, pinhole cameras, absolutely everywhere.
Real?
So they could listen and watch for employees. It was another retailer.
And you didn't even know where they were, and you were an employee.
Oh no, I knew. Because I worked for the group that did it, right? And so they were putting them in absolutely everywhere. I should say everywhere an employee was. They had those.
I get such a kick out of this stuff. I really do. I got a couple more here for you. Then we'll leave you alone. But it's great. Great information. And I love that we can, bond and sympathize. We're all being watched, no matter what it is we do for a living. But here's a listener. I got a kick out of this one. Dude works in a gravel pit. He said, we don't have any fancy schmancy bosses watching us with computers or phones or anything, but he says, but our boss still kind of drives around in his pickup all day looking at us. Sometimes he finds a place to hide and climb up on top of our material piles and peek over the top of them to watch us.
That is creepy.
He doesn't think we see him, but we do. Can you imagine that?
So weird.
Basement window peeper Jesus just texted in and said, that's creepy.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
You got a pile of whatever you're working on, iron or something. And then you see his little glasses peep out over the top.
This text says, around 2015, I was nearly fired. I was put on probation with a letter in my HR file. I was busted by the IT department checking a few porn sites.
Oh.
They had exactly what I watched on record. Exactly what I watched, he says.
No.
I walked around with no eye contact with anyone for about a year.
That sucks.
Yeah,
You'd have to quit.
a couple IT people texted and said, you'd be surprised what we find, when they have to do these audits.
Oh, wow.
Seen some pretty interesting stuff.
To close it out here, this is a funny text. This whole conversation started right away this morning when we opened up 93x.com and saw that it was offline because someone here in the building forgot to pay the bill. As simple as that.
That's
Hilarious.
so good.
Hilarious. This place is so friggin' sideways. Someone forgot to pay the bill. And then later on, we got to talking about, are our bosses spying on us here at the radio station? A listener texted in to say, you guys shouldn't worry. Your boss forgets to pay the website. You think he has the funds to watch you masturbate? No, he likely does not. He or she likely does not. Oh, man. We got to get the hell out of here. We got to go. Tomorrow will be the final, boat cruise and everything. I imagine tomorrow will be your last chance at passes to jump on our boat cruise. So
that's the rumor.
That'll be it. We will talk to you tomorrow morning.
93X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.